Jared, I appreciate you making the drive, brother. It's a long one, so thank you.
3 hours down and well worth it, bud.
You had a new day though. Like you did a good job of like kind of tackling multiple things. I saw that you stopped by Heath's on the way here at Mount Vernon.
Yeah, so I live in Bloomington, Illinois. It's where my gym's at. And I didn't tell you this, I actually stopped in Champaign, Urbana, and I went to a police department. But one of my buddies...
Willingly.
Yeah, very willingly. Yeah, I'm still here. No, one of my friends, Court, who's actually a brown belt, he actually has kind of a little side business where he does these.
Oh, like embroidering?
Yeah, not embroidery, but something like the metal. So I actually gave him a bunch of yellow and blue like Yetis, like coffee cups, work things. So I stopped by the police department to pick those up at like 8 a.m. Then I went down to Mount Vernon, so that's another 2.5 hours. And then I spent a couple hours there. So I watched the wrestling practice, spent some time with Heath, spent some time with Dro and Pixley, and then came here and then had a meeting with First Form. And then after that, I was at Barnes & Noble bookstores. So
Still waiting for me.
I'm a nerd because I like to read, and I did buy a book. And then after that, I got you, and then I'm going to drive my 3 hours home late at night. And it's a good day because you're getting out, you're being active, spending time with people you love, and doing what you like to do. Like, it can't beat it.
Well, I want to say personally, thank you. Not only for the time that you're going to spend with me, but also just the time that you spent to get here. It means a lot to me. For those that don't know, not a single guest has ever been compensated for the time they spend here. So, man to man, thank you.
I'll just take a cup of coffee at the drive home. That's all I need, buddy.
I got you at least for that.
All right, give me some caffeine and I'm good, bud.
So, if you don't mind me asking, when you stop by Mount Vernon, I mean, how often do you still go to Pedigo's? What does that gym mean to you? What's the relationship like with Heath? Because I understand that you have your own gym in affiliation with them, right? So, like, what is that relationship like with Heath?
That's a really good question, and it's definitely, our relationship definitely has evolved. Because when it first started off, my buddy Tommy, he's the one who vouched for me to even get down there. So Heath was kind of looking at me through a second window because Tommy was like, this guy's ABC, he's good, hop in. So for the first year, I know he supported me, but he was also kind of seeing how I did. And now I can talk to Heath about anything. I've asked Heath relationship advice with my fiance, Sabina. I've asked him about personal things. And then after that, the gym stuff, a lot of that stuff, he just kind of breaks it down to the most simplest form. And that's where I've gone from, why am I not getting students? If these guys are doing good, why are they not competing? And Heath really is a very good mentor of how to be a coach to people. And then along the line, you start producing the world champions. And that's what I've really taken from Heath over the years, is that being a coach that actually gives a shit about your people, shocker, they're going to want to come to you. They're going to want to be good for the gym, put in those extra hours, leave it all on the mat. And so for Heath, just observing him, seeing how he treats people, how he coaches, because nowadays jiu-jitsu's on YouTube. It's everywhere. Anybody can learn jiu-jitsu, but learning how to be a coach and a good human, that's something that, like, if you don't really believe in that, you're not going to be a good coach. I truly believe that what makes Heath so much different is just how he actually cares about people. And that's just something that you can't really fake that. Like the small MMA world, it's a small world.
Everybody knows everybody.
Everybody does. Like even you and me. Like I was like,
do we have?
Hey, you fought my buddy, right? And now
I wasn't gonna say anything. You brought it up. I was like, oh
damn. But that was the thing, is this world is so small that if you're an asshole and you're not true to who you say you are, you're going to get found out real quick, Jack. And fighters, we don't forget shit, and we hold grudges.
I'll say this. Fighting martial arts is interesting because it is simultaneously like the hardest man you'll ever fucking meet in your life, the most dangerous, the most physically adept at causing you bodily harm.
Right.
But also, like, I don't want to say the word sensitive in the sense of like they're emotionally unstable. They're sensitive with their relationships because this interaction is so
intimate.
Yes. Yes. Not just the knowledge transfer of like martial arts, but you were talking about like how, you know, jiu-jitsu's on YouTube, and yeah, I mean, nowadays martial arts is just so prolific, and it's like everywhere. Like I feel like jiu-jitsu in a lot of ways, not to shit on it, is kind of like the new karate, you know what I mean? But the real value in a gym today more than any other is actually the culture and not the martial arts.
100%.
Because you can learn arm bars and triangles and stuff like that on YouTube. You might need a buddy to practice on, or like a practice dummy, you know what I mean? But what you're really getting when you go to a gym is that culture, and more importantly, and this is like anybody in corporate America will understand this, you're putting yourself in an environment with like-minded individuals. And you might be able to learn on YouTube, and you might be like a self-starter and a go-getter and all that stuff. You will not get as dangerous in your martial art if you're not around other people with the same passion as you, because they're going to criticize you in ways that you don't understand. Your coach will come in and say, hey, that might look perfect in the sense of like every move, but you're a lot taller or a lot longer, or maybe you're shorter, and maybe certain submissions aren't available to you. You need someone to come in and tell you the things that you don't know. The things you don't know, you don't know.
Yep. You really did hit that on the head. And there's something that I say to people, and this is where I may not be the best business owner. I've always said that is I try to be a good coach, not the best business owner. So if somebody comes in and they say, hey, I'm interested in fighting. Okay, well, let's start off with you signing the waiver.
Yeah, right.
And then number two, I was like, so what is it that you want to do? What's your goal? And then when you realize it came down to I just watched the UFC and I want to learn something. So then I just say to them, like, okay, well, are you interested more in on the ground choking people or standing up and punching people in the face? Just give them that A or B option. And then normally you can pick, oh, I want to do this, want to do this. Okay, well, how much experience you have? So it's breaking that down for them. And then this is what I tell them. This is where my fiance gives me the eye roll every time. But I tell people, every single gym in town, whether this doesn't matter if you're a weightlifter, if you're a CrossFit, if you want to do any kind of fucking Pilates, every gym, they're going to give you a week. Try every gym for a week. And if you've never done this, shocker, you're going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
You are. But this is what I tell people, and kind of like when you said about corporate America, we've had those jobs where it sucks, right? You go in, you're like, fuck, I got to work with Mike today. And there's other days you're like, all right, I get to work with Eli. It's going to be a good day. So I'm one of those guys of, hey, if you come in here and these are your people, these are the motherfuckers that, hey, my car is broke down. Can you come get me? Hey, I'm having a bad day. Can you come over and grab a burger and a beer with me? Are these the people that when you come into the gym, you're going to be here just because of the people? That's the gym you go to. If it's my gym, love to have you. If you don't like our loud music, guys with their shirt off, me, yelling every other cuss word that you can, this isn't the place for you. But at the end of the day, our gym culture is one where you're going to get loved on, then you're going to get whooped on a little bit just because we're a competitive gym. But after that, you're going to get up, you're going to get hugged, loved on, and we're going to break it down for you what happened.
I've actually kind of shifted with my mentality on this when it comes to men. I can't speak too much about the women, but I'm sure this like works across the genders. But like, you know how like there's like this like epidemic of like male loneliness and all these other factors and stuff like that. Like I can't necessarily talk about like the relationship aspect of that.
Yeah.
But one of the things I tell all these guys that are like, man, I don't really have that many friends, and there's not really a whole lot of opportunity for like me to get out there and like make myself available to, make friends and all that stuff. I tell all of them go to a gym.
Yes.
Forgive me. Let me specify a martial arts gym. No hate on like CrossFit or whatever. I was like, go to a martial arts gym. It doesn't have to be a jiu-jitsu gym. Go to a boxing gym, kickboxing gym, MMA gym, jiu-jitsu gym, whatever. Go to a martial arts gym because you are going to be forced to interact with other people. You're going to learn their names, and then throughout the process of that training, you're also going to learn a little bit about them, like what they do for work and all these other things. And then before you know it, you might get an invite to, hey, we're going to watch the fights this weekend. You want to come over? We're going to watch them at the gym, or we're going to watch them at Jimmy's house, whatever. You know what I mean? And then before you know it, that ecosystem, you'll get adopted almost.
Oh,
you get adopted into that ecosystem, and before you know it, you went from not having anybody that you can call to having 20 people you can call. And by the way, it works both ways, because I think a lot of people think of friendship as this like having friends is someone that is there for me. It's also a responsibility.
Yep.
And that's what makes people better, is because now your phone has to be on for when someone needs you.
Yep.
And I think friendship is like kind of like Christmas. When you're little, it's really fun to get a gift, right? You wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, Santa got me all this other stuff. But then as you become an adult, you realize that truly the best part of Christmas is giving the gift.
Yep.
And the best part of friendship, or the best part of these interactions, is to be useful, is to be that person. It feels really good when someone calls you and you could solve a problem.
Yeah.
But it feels really good to know that when this guy or girl had their back against the wall, they thought about you. That's a very, I don't know the proper way to phrase this, but it gives me more
Empowering.
purpose. No, more purpose.
Okay.
Because I do believe that people are best. This is going to sound super hippie, but this is what I honestly believe.
Yeah.
I think that we have to think selfishly until our needs are met. But then after our needs are met, when you start thinking selflessly, that's when you actually really can take on life for what it is. So like once my bills are paid and all these other things, like bare minimum, my family's fine. Like what else can I do?
Yeah.
And now those what else can I do are some of the things that give me the most joy in my life. Outside of my wife, outside of my kid, outside of my immediate family, coaching, being there for people, mentoring. I love doing this shit. This podcast, I love doing this shit.
The giving back.
Yeah, to whatever extent, you know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be like a zero-sum game. It's not like I give 100%. Like maybe sometimes you give back and it actually feels like you get a little bit back.
Yeah.
That's okay. In fact, I would make the argument that that's how that's supposed to feel. So forgive me, I kind of went on a little bit of a rant there.
No, but you really did say it the right way, because if you look and you know that you have, whether it's family member, friends from the gym, friends from high school, whatnot, that were selfish ass people. All they gave a rip about was themselves, right? Like there's people in the world. Those people are negative, and those people really don't have a friend circle. And I'm just going to give an example. So one time I did a fundraiser for somebody, and somebody had beef with that one. So like, oh, well, this person back in the day, they did this and this. And I was like, I don't care. I want to help this person. And then, of course, I had to do my, social media stalking. That person had maybe 90 friends. Everything was bitch, complain, complain. This person was married. And, I don't want to give the person name, but married with 4 kids. Wife had cancer. I'm doing something for you. And I don't care if they don't like that person. Me helping them. And now they're better. They're in a better place in life. Their kids are beautiful. I helped a good person. And through that, too, I'm not going to lie at all. Me doing that fundraiser, me organizing it and getting them $1,000,
Feels good.
I felt good because I was helping a human being. Where be a good person.
Yeah,
kind of works out.
It should give you the warm fuzzies. I'd even go a step further. The individual that was expressing some sort of like animosity for actions taken a long time ago, whatever that long time ago is, I think that everything can be learned and unlearned, and that like any sort of slight can be taken and then also forgiven. Like I'm 33 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the 33 years on this planet, there have been countless people that have done me wrong in some aspect.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
No.
Like, I don't care. I've had people that like recently, about like a week and a half ago, I had someone that I hadn't talked to in a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were like avoiding me because they were ashamed at how they acted the last time we met or the last time we interacted. Like, I guess we got into an argument or whatever. I didn't even remember. Like, it goes to show you like how some of these things can be skewed based on perspective.
Yeah.
To them, it was this like monumental occasion that like, oh my God, Aaron's gonna hate me forever. I was like, wait, what are we talking about? Like, I don't even remember what you're.
Yeah.
Is that why we haven't talked in like 5 years? Really? I was like, that seems kind of stupid, doesn't it? Yeah. So like, he was like explaining this to me. I was like, bro, do you want a beer?
Yeah.
I don't need to hear an apology. I don't even remember what we were talking about. The reason I bring that up is if people will hold on to that negative energy, it is at a tax. It costs them. For you, you're doing this thing regardless. He's actually the one that has to take the burden of those emotions, and it would actually be more freeing if he were to just to forgive.
Let it go.
Just forgive. You don't have to forget. I'm not saying like forget. Like by all means, I always say like, if you do me dirty, I'll forgive you, but I kind of have my eye on you. Fool me once kind of thing. But what I'm trying to say is also you cannot walk this earth with these constant like chips on your shoulder, constantly shoving one another because you're worried about how someone's going to interact with you. I just don't think that's a a pleasant way to exist.
No, it's not. And I'll say this too. Like, and I said you and I are very similar. Like, the more I talk to you, the more I'm like, I like you a lot more. But
It's the whiskey.
the caffeine. But this is the people that, and you're right, because there's some people that have hold grudges on me from high school, from college.
It's ridiculous.
And I'm at the point, I'm 43, so I got a little bit on you. But like when I was in my mid-20s, I still did hold on to some of those. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I definitely can't hold a grudge. But nowadays, it's like, okay, if you still hate me, boom, block. I don't need you in my life. And then you can live the rest of your life hating me. I'm just going to forget about you. Move on. Like, I'd rather focus all my energy on helping my students, being there for my fiance and her business she's doing, being there for Tommy, Heath, and all their guys. Because there's only... If you know how people look in their phone and there's favorites, 3 people.
Yeah.
Sabina, Tommy, and then Heath's number 3. Like, that's just how it is. And that's like, if they like me, they approve what I'm doing, cool. My students and, the affiliates that I do care about and their students, cool. Anybody else, man, you don't talk to me on a weekly basis. You didn't check on me when I was in the hospital. When I was going through a rough time, you never checked on me. When you were going through a rough time, was I checking on you? Because I sure as shit do. Yeah. And so that's really where I judge the people that like want us to talk negative about me. Like, well, are you in my circle?
I guess
I'm good. Move on.
I guess I just don't even understand that anymore. Like, this is going to sound incredibly douchey, but like I don't have the energy, the time to focus on like, let me put it this way. If I see something on my Facebook wall that's like, so-and-so hit this milestone. Mm-hmm. Like.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Move on.
Heart. And I move on. If someone's doing something that like, I was like, man, that looks horrendous. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. Scroll. I don't
Just
interact. I don't interact in a negative way. I don't leave a comment that says like, you're stupid. You know what I mean? I don't have the energy or the time for those negative emotions, not because I'm like above it or anything. I'm a human being. I feel these things just as much as any man. Like you said, I'm not perfect either. I've hit this point in my life where I have such an abundance of love and admiration, and my relationships are just at the greatest stage they've ever been. Mm-hmm. I refuse to let anyone have some, because that's what it is. It's a power dynamic.
Oh, absolutely.
You're giving them power over you by being negative, and I just refuse to give anybody that power over me.
Yep.
I just don't care.
You're growing
Ariel's
up.
an asshole. Okay.
True.
Fuck you. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, if people
want to be on the podcast?
Yeah, if people say that stuff to me, I'm just like, you're not wrong about your opinion of me, and then I move on. And
you're right, I am.
I even had somebody when I was in Pans 2 weeks ago. They went up and they said like, I don't like you. I don't think you're an asshole. I was like, well, I hope you feel better telling me that. I'm gonna go coach my guys, and I just did the turnaround.
Beeline. And
it's funny because I did kind of do the side eye look. He was still standing there just looking at me.
Ready for confrontation.
He didn't know what to say because he went through like 2-3 minutes of that. I said, hey, I'm glad
he was going off on you for like 2-3 minutes?
Yeah, at Pans, when I was on crutches on this. And I just stood there and said, okay. I was like, is that what you had to say to me? He's like, yeah. And I said, well, cool. I hope you feel better telling me about that. I'm going to go coach my guys. And I just turned around.
I don't know. I would have sent him a PO for the therapy session.
But that's just how I am this life is like, when you become successful, and I'm not trying to say I'm the most successful person, because I sure as shit am nowhere where I need to be.
There's different metrics for success.
Yeah. The more you grow, the more people hate on you. And I worked for years at Gold's Gym. That when I was 16, I got my driver's license. I went and got a membership, and you couldn't tell me shit difference. And the owner of Gold's in Bloomington, John Morgan, he passed away, but he was like still this day, like I get teared up thinking, Mom. I remember going to lunch with him. And also to Dan McCauley, the Gold's Gym owner in Champaign, worked there for 3 years. So both of those owners like really close with. And I used to go to lunch and pick their brain because I think I secretly knew I wanted to open a gym, but I just didn't have the confidence or thought process at 20 to 26. And I remember they used to, we used to go to lunch or talk, and they'd be like, yeah, hey, man, this person said this and this. And they were just like, yeah, you're not going to make everyone happy. Yeah, you're not going to make everyone happy. I've had 4 gyms now through growth. Every time I move into a new one, there's somebody who just every day bitches about something. Move to a bigger gym, somebody else bitches about everything. Moved into this gym, 2 people bitching about everything. And I was just like, man, I really can't make everyone happy.
Well, okay.
And
let me expand on that, though. Are they still showing up?
No.
Well, then that problem solved itself.
Exactly. And that's for me is I'm looking. So the first gym that I moved into, I think I had like 30 members. We lost one. Okay, whatever. Next one, I had about 60, 70.
Well, hold up. Forgive me. Let me take a step back.
No, you're good.
The amount of effort that it would have taken to keep that one would have done a disservice to the 29. You also, because of the way opportunity cost works, you don't understand that if you change your culture, you change your paradigm to please that one, you could inevitably or inadvertently upset 5.
Yep.
So for the record, it's like you say that one person left, but like maybe that one person left and that was the best possible scenario.
I believe it was because have you ever seen that picture of there's a basket, I believe it's peaches, and there's one that's rotten, getting mold,
and it gets
spread around. And I've said that when I've done security, when I've managed at gyms, if there's one person who's breaking that culture, I do not give a shit. I will get them out there.
I always say quick to hire, quick to fire.
Yeah.
The only caveat to that is youth. If you're 30 years old and you're a cunt, I'm getting you out.
Yep.
If you're 19, I'm actually going to give you some time. Maybe you haven't had that positive role model in your life. Maybe you haven't been sat down by like an older man to like give you some perspective. Like
call
there
that
is
the Big Brother program.
The Big Brother, yes.
Big Brother program.
Some people, it's ignorance. You know what I mean? Like they just don't know what they don't know. And like to that, I will give grace. But, you know, once you hit like a certain threshold, I hate to say it this way, but like you should know better. You know what I mean? So that I don't have much
sympathy.
No. Or what's the proper way to say it?
I don't like proper man. Just leave it blunt for me, baby.
I just don't give a fuck enough. Like when I see a young person, I'm like, dude, someone told you wrong. Let me try to tell you right. And if you're receptive to it and you listen to it, I'll mentor you.
Right.
But I'll give them a couple tries. You know what I mean? Because I remember when I was young, I was a fucking. I'm sure when you were young, we were little shitheads.
Lead fucking idiot.
We were lucky to have the people around us that would sit down and spend the time with us. And
we were lucky we didn't have social media and we didn't have cell phone cameras. That's what we were lucky about at our age. We ain't got to talk about those stories.
No, you're not wrong.
No, but you're right because when I first started like working at the gym, I was 20 years old. So I went to college for kines, but I went ahead and got certified to be a personal trainer, so I could start personal training before I was finished my degree because I was just I'm gonna do things my way, and I've realized that was a very good eye opener. Looking back, I was like, yeah, you do things your way, it kind of works out. Just you got to kind of follow your right path. And I'll never forget when I was at Gold's Gym, Sean Calley, still friends with him to this day. He was my big brother. That was the Marine, big, huge guy about to be a pro. And that was the one that like his
pro mixed martial arts, sorry.
A pro bodybuilder.
Oh.
He was a pro bodybuilder. But he was the best trainer at Gold's. So for me, like, because I just wanted to be in a gym. When I looked at Sean was the best personal trainer. And when I was 14, I found out you could be a personal trainer because my football coach, Chuck Fisher, he was a football coach, PE teacher, and also a personal trainer. And he gave us all the workouts in high school. And I was like, how do you know how to do all these? Because I had followed like Rocky, Best of the Best, so I like to work out, but I didn't know that was a job. So at 14, Coach Fisher said, well, this is what you have to do. And he went to college at Millikan. He was a kicker, and he went there for kines and did all that. So when I was at Gold, Sean was my big brother, and I was annoying as shit. Followed him. I looked at his workout. So that's what he's doing. I need to do that. That's how he's holding his hands. Like, I even bought the same damn clothes as him. Like,
I think imitation is the greatest form of flattery. When you see a younger guy do that, it comes from that position. It's like, I'm an amalgamation of all the men that I look up to the most.
And Sean, he really did set me straight. And there was times when I was asking him questions.
What does that mean, set you straight? Meaning like he mentored you?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100% with how to train. Because I was the asshole trainer. The first year I was a trainer, God, I was terrible. I wish I could give people their money back if I could find them.
Why? Because you were just pushing people?
I was a prick. I'm the man. I love it when people puke the first so they know I'm the man.
You get a soccer mom that's coming in.
God.
She's like, I just want to lose some weight.
Yeah, and this is what pretty much what Sean said to me. He goes, hey, have you ever seen one of the guys work out here with their moms? Because some of the trainers, they got to personally. I was like, yeah. He goes, you think those moms can do the workouts you do? I was like, hell no, they can't do mine. He goes, exactly. They can't do what you do. Your job is to teach them. And I was like, oh,
It clicks.
I see. I'm an asshole.
Well, how old were you?
20.
Yeah, dude.
But again, like he big brothered me, and man, when I ever had questions, I talked to him. When I got into when I went to Champaign, and I got more into like fighting, Kyle Watson, Jeff Serafin, they were purple belts, and I was a white belt.
Damn.
Yeah, when you think about that,
Pre-black belt Watson. That's wild.
Dan Hornbuckle fought for Bellator.
Man, that's a throwback as well.
I was there for his first MMA fight, and he was a white belt when I started. Like two or 3 weeks into me joining them, Dan had his first fight. Jeff Serafin had a fight, and Joker had a fight.
What made you even? Forgive me for asking this. What even made you want to switch like to martial arts? Because like it sounds like you actually your first love was like physical fitness and like the traditional weightlifting of aesthetic or functional strength, not necessarily martial arts. How did that?
No, that's a good. That's a good. I definitely did jump over that. So I'm from a small town called Ransom. You've never heard of it.
Everyone wants one though.
240 people, one stop sign, no gas station kind of town. Right. And I grew up on a farm outside of it. So I grew up on a gravel road to show how hick I am. And then when I moved to Bloomington, I was just a skinny farm kid that got picked on. Like I didn't have neighbors like on the farm. So all of a sudden I went to Bloomington where State Farm headquarters is at. White collar town. Everybody's family works at State Farm. So me being young, I'm like, oh, what kind of farm do you have?
The state.
Oh man, and kids had no clue what I was talking about. So I was just the kid that got picked on.
Why'd you guys move to Bloomington? If you don't mind me asking.
I don't know to this day.
Okay,
it was just
whatever it was.
My opinion was we weren't making money on the farm. Had to move. Better
Find
opportunity.
work.
Yeah, I mean, just like any like immigrants when they moved over.
Well, that's why cities bloomed.
Yeah.
Cities bloomed because of, I hate to say it this way, cheap, low skilled labor.
Yeah, and that was one of those where I grew up on a farm, and I just don't think I had never gotten the full story. But you moved to Bloomington, and I had a kid that was a bully. Just and I was an easy target. And
you were an easy target?
100%.
100%.
Because I was a skinny kid. I had buck teeth, a gap between them, so that the physical.
Boy, did you age well.
Oh man, no one picks on me no more. But it was one of those where too, like I was trying to fit in, so I was making up BS stories just to fit in, and I realized like, dude, you're not that old. I'm like, dude, they suffer. you were just trying too hard. And the kid that was picking on me, finally, that 7th to 8th grade, that's when puberty hit. And I'd always watched like martial arts movies, action movies, so I loved the meatheads. That was just, nobody's going to mess with them. So I just knew like, well, if I start doing push-ups, sit-ups, and I totally started dumpster diving. And there was a bike that I actually dragged a mile from the opposite neighborhood through like backyards to my house. So that summer I started working out. I remember I followed all the workout montages.
When we say bike, we mean like a stationary bike.
Yeah.
Not like a bicycle that you could ride. You're talking about workout equipment.
A workout
bike.
Stationary bike I took from somebody.
You saw it, and you're like, oh, I can roll this and take it home.
Yeah, I'd show what a hick I was. I was fishing at 6 a.m. at the neighbors, and then I saw that bike. So I literally, after I was done fishing, I stashed the bike on the side of their house.
Because you thought someone else would take it.
Yeah, I was like 12.
It's like, I don't want anyone else to take this
the bike on the side, so I dumped it.
Meanwhile, the family was like, why the fuck is that guy putting that bike on the side of our house?
The first thing I stole from somebody's house was a bike.
He didn't steal it if it's... Was it outside?
It was outside on the curb, but I mean,
that's not stupid.
It depends who you ask.
Unless it just got delivered.
I don't think so.
It was pre-Amazon.
Oh, but then I used to, no shit, I would get up and I would go run or bike, because that's what, the martial arts movies did.
Yeah.
And if I saw equipment, I would just, boom, take that home with me.
Allegedly.
And I was allegedly. No Ring doorbells back then. And then I would, mow lawns for cash. And then I would go buy weight equipment from garage sales. So I was early figuring it out.
Do you think that the passion for your early physical fitness stemmed from the bullying, or from the inspiration of these films?
Honestly, I think inspiration, because there was something about, and even like when I was a little kid, the He-Man cartoons, I didn't give a shit about He-Man. I liked number 2, the meathead. So even like when I was a kid, I remember there was a lot of times I didn't like the main character. I liked the number 2, the don't mess with him. He's the tough fighter meathead.
The stoic big guy.
I always liked the guy, but I also like the ones that talk trash.
Really?
It worked out for me. but no, that was...
Man after my own heart.
As a young kid, I liked the meatheads. And then even when I was like early UFCs, the guy that had the biceps and the six-pack and the traps, I was like, he's winning. Like Vitor Belfort, I always picked him. Like that was just my thing. And then...
Or Mark Coleman.
Oh, yeah. Mark Kerr.
Mark Kerr. Oh, my God. Mark Kerr before Mark Coleman.
Yeah.
Or actually around the same time. It was like a Venn diagram.
Same era, yeah. But that was the era, too, where the big steroided out meatheads were the men.
We actually had that conversation last podcast where we were talking about Cyborg, because Rhonda's kind of shitting on her about steroid use and all this other stuff. And I kind of wanted to do a caveat of like, hey, like the unsexy reality is like during those times, everybody was on it. It's kind of like cutting weight.
Yeah.
If everybody is cutting weight, it's no longer a competitive advantage. It is now the prerequisite.
Yeah.
We have to cut weight so that we're equal in terms of like our physical states.
Yeah.
So like when you start taking PEDs, back then, when you started taking PEDs, it wasn't for a competitive advantage. It's because everybody else was doing it. So it's like I just want to be level with everybody else. I want to be equal to you.
And for their defense,
small caveat there.
And for their defense, there was
a different fucking world.
Different world. No testing.
Well, in Pride.
No one cared.
And then the testing in the UFC was
the sniff test.
Yeah, I mean, I will never forget how Brock Lesnar made it to UFC 200.
Yeah,
so,
we ain't got.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
he was at weigh-ins, and I was like, yo.
With
Randleman. Yeah. What did I say?
No, Crandleman's one of them. He was with Cole and Kerr. Kevin Randleman. He was in the same camp.
Sorry. You're talking about the black guy, Kevin Randleman. Yeah. Rest in peace, by the way.
With Alistair Overeem and Brock
Bro,
Lesnar.
when he blew up from K1 days, when he came over to the UFC, so I don't know how I didn't know this, but when Alistair Overeem first came to the UFC and he fought Brock Lesnar, I was like, damn, who the fuck is this guy? I didn't realize that was the same Alistair Overeem from Pride when I saw him when he was like a skinny fucking kid. And I was like, no.
Didn't he fight at 85 or some shit like that?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He was cold even when he was smaller. So, like, I'm not trying to, like, shit on him in any which way. He is a world-class fighter. However, Google Alistair Overeem versus Brock Lesnar weigh-ins.
Jesus.
I remember I was 19.
That was the juiciest
18,
weigh-ins.
Bro.
Juicy weigh-ins.
Let me put it this way, too, for perspective. So, like, when I was coming up, I remember when I saw TJ Dillashaw fight Renan Barão, okay?
Ooh, I had to dig back in the memory for that one.
The first one. I did not know that at that time, both of those guys were on steroids. But I remember I was like maybe a 4-0 amateur, okay? And I saw TJ Dillashaw and Renan Barão fight, and I watched that fight, and all I could think, like everybody else was like, ooh, all I could think was like, if you gave me 20 years, I'm never beating TJ. Yeah. I cannot keep up that pace for 5 rounds at the UFC championship level. I was like, dude, I get gassed after like round 2. Then later I realized like, oh, he's on EPO, he's on all this stuff.
All the good stuff.
Started making fucking sense to me because then the second time they fought after USADA was kicked in, it was a different TJ Dillashaw. Let me just tell you that. The reason I bring that up is if I exclusively came up during your time when it was the fucking meatheads and Alistair Overeem went from 185 to 250 in like a year, it'd be a different time for me as well. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, and I'll be. This is where I don't ever lie to anybody. I don't lie to my students. Is back in the day, I totally used to get the juice from my buddies at the gym, and I didn't wait until after I stopped fighting, so I was completely done. And I'll tell everybody this because I don't lie. Did I take some shit back in the day in my 30s? Yes, I did. But also, too, that's when I had stopped fighting. And no matter whatever I took, that would not have helped against the elite of the elite. There's levels. And because, you people are like, oh, yeah, take this. So yours going to be like that? Like, nah, brother.
I'm going to give you some grace.
Yeah.
Dude, there were people I fought people that I knew were on the sauce. Let me put it that way.
You mean both?
Yeah. So like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I'm by no means like condoning it or like saying like do that. I'm not doing that. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying don't do that. But what I am saying is
don't do it.
when you were coming up, when I was coming up, actually when I was coming up, it was less of a different time. But when you were coming up, it was even more so the case that the grace that I give a cyborg, I extend to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Like,
the sport was in just a fundamentally different place at the time.
It was, and I'll say this when
even locally.
Oh yeah,
because that's when you don't drug test at all. It's easier to cheat at the local show.
Did you ever fight somebody where they pulled the asshole out of the crowd? Because and I tell people, I was like, yeah, that used to happen.
Yeah,
where they used to.
Or fights would break out.
Does anybody want to fight for $200? We get a mouthpiece, shorts, and cup.
Yeah,
come down.
Someone didn't show up after weigh-ins.
Yeah. And that was one of those things that can't happen nowadays.
Actually, I disagree. It still can't. The shorts mouthpiece one since the state got involved, but the asshole in the crowd still a thing.
Oh yeah,
there's a reason why Shamrock now when they do their tickets, they make sure that like you guys are like on opposite. Like where you at? Okay, here. Your opponent, they're over here.
Yeah,
as far away as possible.
I'll tell you what, Shamrock. I never fought for them. But my guys that I'm coaching, I want to get them on there. I think it's a good production. I don't got a lot of complaints about it.
No, I mean, I will. Okay, I will give a compliment, but also say that like, I think that when I was coming up as an amateur, when there was like 6 different promotions and there was like a different fight on any given weekend, that was the golden age. I hate to say it that way.
No, it's the truth, and
because now you get a fight every other month, like every other month. It's nice, it's good, but like I didn't realize what we had until we didn't have it.
I remember Jeremy Horn. Remember that?
Yes,
name? Yes. He fought 3 times in 2 days. He told me this story
because he made the fucking drive.
He told me this story. He was in Indy, and he fought. And I don't remember north or south, but he fought North Indiana. Like he was like early. Drove down southern Indianapolis, like same
and then
town,
made like the main event.
And made the main event, and I think I don't remember. I think that was a Friday
night. Yes,
and then he fought Saturday in Chicago.
Yes,
I was like,
you know what I asked? I go how because I didn't talk to him, but I talked to people around him. I go, how the fuck did he make weight? He made weight the day of. On that Saturday card, he showed up. He said, hey, I can't make weigh-ins, and they're like, well, what are you gonna do? He's like, well, I'll weigh in that morning, and they were like, okay, like if you're willing to. So he made weight, fought fucking twice, didn't balloon up for those 2 fights, fucking makes weight the next day and then fights. What? A different time. Different time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it was like, it's better for the fan.
It is.
It's better for the fan, but not necessarily better for the fighters. I will say that they're, to your point about Shamrock, like the thing I will give them credit for is like, yeah, you're absolutely right. They're consistent. They have good production. They're very professional. They have a certain clientele that they cater to. So like the shows are like suit and tie, which I'm going to be an asshole when I say this. I fucking love that. I think unless you're fighting, dress the fuck up. Because these guys are putting it on the line. The least you can do is be presentable. Unless you're coaching, if you're like coaching, cornering.
I was going to say, if I'm cornering, I ain't wearing a 3-piece, baby.
I don't need you in a 3-piece if you're cornering. But even if like you're a part of the gym, you don't necessarily like, when I see people wearing like the St. Charles MMA hoodies and stuff like that, you're repping your crew. I get that shit. But for me, at this point in time, I have no allegiances. I have no nothing. Yeah. The least I can do is present myself for the spectacle.
I will say this because I didn't know who the hell you were the first time I saw you.
Oh, really? When did you see me first?
No. It was one of the times I cornered Sprinkles.
Gotcha, Sprinkles.
That's his nickname. I gave it to him. I don't give a shit.
You should have told me that for my fight leading up.
Well, no, he didn't get it till after you guys fought with him and I. And but no, I saw you. I can't remember which fight it was, but I remember I saw you in the background. I was like, man, he looks. I'm pretty sure it was like a white or like a very light gray, but you just looked sharp. And I remember I was like, man, that dude's dressed up. Yeah. And then the next time I saw you again. And I saw 2 other guys dressed up, and I'm like,
it's a trend.
Man, this is and that's what I was impressed by. Because like I've fought at like, stockyards where it's like, I know there's a cattle show the day before, and there's still some shit in the corner. So that's where I'm like,
I did too. Cool. I had fights at Shady Jack's Biker Bar. I had boxing matches in the back of CMAA in Granite City, Illinois, where it was like literally in the
I know what you're talking about. I know the exact same. I know that one.
So don't get it twisted. Like, dude, I can.
You put your time in with those?
Yeah. it's more than just the way I want to present myself.
Yeah.
It is the respect that I have for the craft too. I want these fighters. I'll be honest with you. When I was fighting and I was fighting in the biker bar, it was fun for like a different reason.
Right.
Right? Like it's a vibe.
I think every 10 years they step up.
Even the biker bars. Well, no, I'd be honest with you. I think everybody should fight once at a biker bar.
100%.
True. Fight once at a pavilion in the back of a fucking gym.
Yeah.
Not every event can be a spectacle or should be like sexy.
Fight in the shitholes.
Yes.
Pay your dues. And also, too, this is what I tell people. But I was like, when you fight in the crappy ones, it's a good story. It is such a good story.
You hit the nail on the head. That's why I miss the golden ages. Because like, there was, okay, when I was coming up, I don't want to shit on any promotions when I say this, but there were clear delineations of like the bad promotions and then the good promotions, right?
We'll talk off camera afterwards.
No, I'll say it right now. Spoiler warning. I won't say the bad ones, but I'll say the good ones.
That's why, yeah.
The top of the top was Fight Hard. The top of the top was the family arena, at least for the amateur level. I can't say for the pros because I wasn't a pro at that time, right? For the amateurs, it was family arena, Fight Hard.
Yeah.
Where else could you go? Free tickets. I remember my first fight for them, there was like 5,000 people in the crowd, or that's what they said. It felt like 5,000. Maybe it was like 2,000, but anyway.
It was 6. We'll lie for
Yeah,
you. I won't make you feel good, bud.
Appreciate you. Flex on them. I just remember like, you know, when I fought at Shady Jack's, when I fought at like Heart of St. Charles Banquet Center, when I fought at these fucking smoker boxing shows or whatever, all the wrestling matches I had in the middle of nowhere, it all felt like it was leading to this.
100%.
That I earned. Like when I went into the cage and the spotlight was on me, I didn't get like imposter syndrome. I was like, no, fuck everybody. I deserve this.
You paid your dues.
Yes, exactly. There is something to be said about like, you know, being an 0-0 amateur and being on a Shamrock card or an NFA card, and you get all this production, all like the nice venues and all this other stuff. It's like, man, you guys don't know what it was like back in the fucking day.
Yeah.
And not saying that I know because you were at a different time even than me. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to take...
No, and I have my guys fighting smokers first. Because what they do, they'll have to do like the point kickboxing, the PKF.
Yeah.
Start there. Do some Fuji grappling. First, see if you're okay getting hit in the face. See if you're okay on the ground getting choked. Once you win a couple, then we do MMA. But no, I take them to the shitholes. Like, I remember I took a couple of guys up to Iowa.
Iowa, I'm so sorry.
They did not check shit.
Really?
That was like, you remember when Wisconsin was the last state that was doing like pride fight rules?
You can still soccer kick in the head? Yeah, that was wild.
No, I went up one time, one of my buddies did that, and I watched, and he soccer kicked the shit out of somebody. And I was like...
You soccer kicked me.
I'm good.
I'm getting my gun.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like, I was like, dude, what? You can do that? Yeah. Like, they didn't have a rules meeting. And I was like...
that's wild. Was there no sanctioning body?
Back in the day, it was illegal still in Wisconsin, Illinois.
To do any sort of cage fighting, right?
Yeah, it was illegal when
Dude, that is so wild.
No, it was illegal in Illinois when I first started. So we had to go to Indy, or you did it somewhere and just hope that the promoter had some juice that they'll shut up. But yeah, no, I can't remember who it was. Somebody, they weighed in, and then the next day went to show up, and the cops had shut the door. So they didn't get paid, didn't get a fight, go home. You got one night in a hotel.
Meaning that the cops realized that there was going to be like an MMA event. So they're like, no, go home.
I really don't know, but I guess like a couple cops were out there and they had like, the only they said they caution tape, but they did something with the front doors.
It turned it into a forensic scene.
It was weird. It was weird.
This is what I'm talking about, though. The wild, wild fucking West. You're literally like in the state of Illinois, you could have a fight, or maybe have a fight. In the state of Missouri, you could have a fight, but then in another state, it's completely legal. Yeah. Thank you, John McCain. Appreciate that one, brother.
Fuck him. I hate him.
Rest in peace.
I didn't feel bad. No. I'll piss on that grave.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll say it. I don't give a damn.
Remember what we said earlier about negative emotions, forgiveness, moving on?
This is why I even tell my pastor, I said, hey, I'm a Christian, but part-time.
Hey, we got to sin a little bit or Jesus died for nothing.
No, I just said, like, hey, man, I'm not perfect. There's certain things I'm going to hold a grudge on. McCain's one of them. And whatever. Parents can call me, talk to me. I don't give a shit.
He was almost our president. Anyway.
I would not vote it. Oh. But no, I mean, but like you said about paying the dues, that was just like, you know, when I started martial arts and I was young, got beat up by a bully, started working out, got some size on me, started with one thing, led to another. When I opened my gym, COVID lockdown, had to borrow mats from Fuji, and they were full. It was terrible, situation. But it was, you're paying your dues. I was excited for 5 guys to show up for a practice. And that was like, okay, you're paying your dues.
Wait, you opened up your first gym right before COVID?
So when they said COVID lockdown, the world shut down.
2 weeks to flatten the curve.
It was...
Spoiler warning.
I think it was 2 or 3 weeks to flatten the curve. I went to Mount Vernon and stayed a weekend, and that was like my tryout where I just got my ass handed to me. And then 2 weeks later was when I opened the gym. So COVID lockdown was the best thing for me.
Really?
100%. COVID lockdown was the best thing for my life. I don't give a shit with anybody else. I know it's terrible, but it's the best thing.
Why?
So
it seems counterintuitive to starting a business.
Best thing could have happened to me.
Okay.
I was with my old team, and things just weren't jiving. I was on my way out because coach was showing up drunk, leave halfway through practice, have a ciggy.
Sounds like a good time.
Yes, I was like, and I have standards for myself, and
I'm joking,
they
brother.
tried. But I also got standards for the motherfucker I'm paying $100 a month for.
Yeah, that's fair.
And if you're showing up after a couple brews,
well, how do you think you can afford the alcohol, man? Appreciate you.
So, well, that was kind of the thing, because I had brought 10 people because I was personal training.
So the least he could have done is give you a...
Didn't even give me a free month. Nothing. That's it. Thanks for bringing some.
Yeah,
so I tried talking to him. And during COVID lockdown, I got some mats in my garage. So him and I would, hey, we're going to film stuff and have people over. Happened one time. And then I was like, all right. So I was friends with Tommy Butler. I was training with him. So I was driving to Mattoon 3 days a week during COVID lockdown. Small hick town. They don't give a shit. So I was getting my training in. And then I started having people come over and I was coaching them. One of those 10, I think about 6 of them. And then it turned into, hey, they liked the PSF style that I was stealing from Tommy and teaching. And they went, hey, after COVID, we don't want to go back to him. We want to keep coming here. And I was like, well, this garage ain't...
To your garage.
Yeah. And I was like, well, this garage ain't going to fit the bill, boys. So I started talking to Tommy, and I was like, I'm done with this guy. When I'm done, I'm done. There ain't no turning back. That's kind of the part-time Christian I hold yet. But... he told me, he goes, okay. And right when they said COVID lockdown, go home, you can't go anywhere, I did go home, but the first thing I did was, what can you do to get better in life? So I did cardio 45 minutes every day. I read a book for an hour. I had to study jiu-jitsu. So I had 3 hours of study. So it was jiu-jitsu, how to run a business, how to be a leader. Studied my ass off.
Because you had mentally decided to start the gym.
At that time, I really don't think of it. I want to come out of this better. I don't want to sit home and be
then why were you studying business?
But that was the thing. Because I had a personal training business.
Okay. Forgive me.
Yeah. No, and I didn't explain.
Big business.
My fault. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, because at the gym, they raised the rate of personal training, but they were paying me less. So you personal paid some, I got paid. The rates went up, I got paid less. And I was like, I may have cheated in math in college, but I'm not fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So I started personal training in my garage. So that was my start business. How do you do this? So my plan was to be a better trainer. And then it turned into, hey, can you be a jiu-jitsu MMA coach?
Yeah, business is a universal skill.
That was not in my cards. I didn't want to open a gym till I retired and moved to the East Coast. I swear. Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not going to coach or open a gym till I'm retired, and it's a fun business.
Joke's
Shocker.
on you, yeah.
Yeah, and it just turned into, hey, these guys are looking up to you as a leader. You have leadership skills. Like, you've been a leader of security. You've been a leader of personal training. You've managed personal training. You've managed security. You've done executive protection. You know how to talk. Step up, son. So Tommy gave me so I had to go and train with Tommy, and then he gave me if you want this, you got to go down to Mount Vernon. And this is when they were in the laundromat. And
That's the other thing to say is like PSF has also stepped their game up since
100%.
Stepped their game up in a lot of ways. So, but
Yeah.
also their facility.
Yeah, and at the time it was just Heath and 2 other black belts. So it was very, yeah.
He's one guy. Sorry to interrupt you. He is one guy I want to get on this podcast so fucking bad. Heath, Pedigo.
Like call.
Well, I talked to Alejandro about it. I think that Alejandro said he can guarantee it if I go over there.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point where I think we can do it.
Yeah.
We just the cameras, the PC, the mics.
I'll drive down and load them up for you, baby.
You know what I mean? Like,
I gotcha.
Let me put it this way: it's a guest to where I was like, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
My one fear is that we set the standard and like everyone else thinks like maybe we can do it. Then I'll have no problem being like, you're not a fucking Heath Pedigo. Suck my dick. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, but you better. I mean, if you are, then I'll gladly drive out to you too. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting because we were talking about your
good.
story, but like that is one guy that I've never sat down and talked to him, but I've talked to you, Alejandro, Wardens, like the people that speak about him. It's almost like in hushed tones, like it's like with reverence and sovereignty. I'm like, damn, like, who the fuck is this guy?
I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't shit. Heath is.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem saying it because I said I say coach, but how Heath coaches and just really how he leads people. If I'm 10% of that, I'll be successful.
I gotta get him on this podcast. Sorry.
Yeah,
This
no,
is someone I want to talk to.
I do not. You can take away from my podcast to talk about Heath anytime. Heath and Tommy, I will take away from my time to talk about them any day.
Forgive me for saying this because you brought up Tommy's name both on and off the record. Let me ask you this. Who is Tommy to you? How did you meet Tommy? Why is he so influential in your life?
Yeah.
Because he sounds like the kind of guy that changed you.
100%. If he needed anything, I would sell my house and car to help him.
Okay,
Win
so
bad.
who is this guy?
And same for Heath. Same for Heath. If they need anything from me, I would sell everything I own to help them. One thing twice. I've been homeless before. I'll come back. Like, that's the truth. Is Tommy, so when I was at Eastern Illinois, and Tommy doesn't know me shit. He doesn't know me jack. But when I was just that, young 20-year-old kid that just talked a bunch of shit, wanted to fight, but I was there every day. If he needed me there for sparring partners, I was there. And Tommy and Heath, they have similar characteristics. They're different, but they're very similar of just they see somebody who's loyal, who wants to be there for them. They gave it back to me, and I didn't have anything to give them. I still don't have any fucking money. But just how good Tommy was to me, I can't even describe enough how good of a person he was to me. And when you have somebody like that, because I was paying maybe like $25 a month gym dues because it was a shithole. It was a shit, no heater AC, like wood barn door. The ring we had a dip in one thing, and we didn't have mats. We had carpet and concrete walls.
Jesus.
Bring it, baby. It was awesome. I loved every minute of it.
All I'm thinking about is rug burn.
Oh, I miss it. I miss that place because you were there because you wanted to be there. And Tommy was leading the charge.
There's something to be said about that.
Yeah, there was the heat was one of those big gas heaters that smelled. And then the AC was box fans that I stole. And
would just blow hot air back in your face.
And that was, hey, can we just open the barn door to get airflow? Yeah. And behind that was a graveyard that we used to run sprints on the. You can't make it up. But how well Tommy was like, hey, you want to meet at 5 a.m. to get your rounds in? Hey, are you coming tonight? And really, Tommy really wasn't essentially the head coach. We had somebody else, but Tommy was the one.
He stepped up.
Yeah, and how he stepped up and took care of us and never asked for shit back. I'll never forget that because that was a time in my life that I was like, hey, you're about to graduate, get your big boy job. What are you going to do? And I saw Tommy's, married, kids, working and coaching and still providing for all of us. Who the fuck are you?
He was the fucking man to you.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, Tommy wasn't a world beater MMA fighter. He'll whoop my ass still this day. I ain't gonna lie to that. Tommy still beat on me. But also at the end of the day, he was so kind. And that was just, he was just the masculine man with a soft hand. And I've never seen anything like that at that time. And I was like, yeah, you're a guy who I'm always going to follow. And when I stopped fighting, I was up in Chicago, running personal training gyms. And even when I moved back to Champaign, he still checked and talked on me. So I quit doing the sport that we met for about 7 years. And I was like, I'm done with this shit. I did bodybuilding, CrossFit, strongman. Still talking to Tommy and him telling me about all this stuff. I just kind of, all right, I'm going to try jiu-jitsu again. And then that led me to the team I was on. And then Tommy and I kind of reconnected because we were on the same affiliate. He was an affiliate Mattoon. I was an affiliate. So I was like, hey, man, we're teammates again. Once Tommy switched to PSF. And let me rewind this. So when I was in Chicago, Tommy actually was with Heath. And Heath was driving up and coaching. And I don't know exactly what happened, but Tommy fired Heath.
No shit.
Yeah. They'll tell you. I don't know the whole story, so I'm not going to speak on it. But something happened with the drive, and he ended up like, hey, this ain't working out. So then Tommy reached out to Heath, said, hey, this affiliate, it's not jiving. Can I come down? And he said, come on down, we'll talk.
It says a lot about whatever did happen.
Yeah.
Because whatever did happen, even though that relationship in a business perspective was severed, the overarching personal relationship was not.
Exactly. And then Tommy told me he was probably about like 20 minutes away. And this is when they were in the laundromat. Excuse me. And he messaged Heath. He goes, I'm a little nervous about walking in. I don't know if you're going to hug me or hit me.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah, that part I do remember someone saying, and I guess Heath just said, you're all good. Come on in the door.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah. So, and then knowing that that's how Heath treated Tommy and how Tommy treated me, I saw the connection there.
The way you speak about Tommy, the reverence that you have for him, the strong man with the soft hand, this is exactly why I said earlier about the young man and how we give them grace, because perhaps the only difference between them being a successful individual in life or not could be like that mentorship or that, you said big brother, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the perfect personification of it. Mm-hmm. Because how you describe Tommy to me, I've never met Tommy. Mm-hmm. But
you need to get him on this podcast too.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll say it.
We'll talk off the record. I'll reach out to him right afterwards.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say though is, as cliche and as fucking warm fuzzy as it sounds, I said this before and I'll say it again. I think all of the woes globally stem from weak men. Mm-hmm. And that it is literally one generation away from being solved. And that is a generation of strong men. Mm-hmm. And that it takes, there's two ways that you can kind of go as a man. You can either look at people and you go, I'm going to be the opposite of that.
Yep.
I don't know the right path, but I know that this path is not the right path, right? Mm-hmm. And there's merit to that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think the better path is the golden one, where you see someone and you're like, this guy has the wife, the kids, he has the job, and we're not even talking about how much money he's making. It's irrespective of the lucrative nature of a life. It is the metrics by which we measure a man is their responsibility and their discipline to execute their life. And you're talking about how Tommy is executing all these aspects of his life, and going back to the comment I made earlier about the selfless nature. Once your needs are met, once you've taken care of all your duties as a man, then you give back through other extracurricular activities, and then it goes on to you, and you meet this individual, and he helped kind of, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but helped kind of shape your early adulthood to the man that you are today.
100% he did. I don't mind you saying that because it's the goddamn truth. And I've said it before I even met you too. Yeah, and if you look at Heath also was working. Heath had a gym. He had kids. And you look at how much he was there for these kids.
Dude, Alejandro almost cried on the episode when he was talking about Heath.
Yeah, and
how Heath saved his life.
100%. I
sorry, Alejandro. Not that he cries. He's a manly man.
No, but I can say this. Like when I went down to Mount Vernon, and I saw how the guys talked about Heath, that was like how I talked about Tommy. So I saw that connection, and then this is where you got to get me. There's a kid on my team named Logan. The second he walked in that gym, I knew what he was. He was mirror image of me. And right then and there, I was like, I know what you are. 2 weeks after he had joined the gym, I got him out of his parents' house, moved in with student number 1, Maddox. And it was funny because then 2 weeks after that, got him a job right next door to the gym. And he straight up told me he's the only person in his entire family who's never been arrested. Only one. That's some real shit right there. And then when we, every time he comes in, gives me a hug, gives my fiance a hug, says, I love you, love him back. And Pan's got third place.
God bless.
Like, amazing kid. And, I have another kid like that, Eli. Eli works hard, goes to school on the honors list, got second at Pan's. And, like, having those guys there, I could give a shit less if they ever compete, ever train again. The fact that I know I've changed their lives.
They've changed yours, too.
I hate to admit that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I tell them, too. I was like, guys, like, I'm not a parent. I don't have kids. I never wanted kids. Like, that's just,
That's not true.
wasn't my thing. And
That's
now,
not true.
And now
I call bullshit.
Oh.
First thing you've said today, that's a lie.
No.
You'll adopt kids. You'll mentor kids.
I'll mentor kids.
Yeah. Forgive me. Let me add some paradigm to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that you don't want children and then pseudo adopt these kids and mentor them and change their lives and take the responsibility of being not like, their guardian, but like kind of stepping in and providing for them. Brother, that comes from a deeper place.
Yeah. And when I tell them, I say, hey, I am your big brother and I'm going to be your biggest fan. And anything they need, I help them with. Like all those guys, I've helped a lot of guys get jobs. And I say, put me down as a reference. And the only thing I will lie for my kids about that I coach is for them to get a job. I said, I will lie about how long I've coached you or if you've worked at my gym and really I don't have any money to pay you. I will lie for my kids for that so they can get jobs.
I got a buddy who works for me. His name is Tony, and I tell him, I was like, when you put me down on a resume, give yourself whatever title you want. Tell them you worked for me for however long you want. When they call me, I'll be like, what did he say? What's his title? Senior developer? Sure, whatever. Yeah, this is the best developer I ever had. Because I would only do that for a certain amount of people, and I'm sure you were the same way.
100%.
It doesn't matter. You know that whatever they're lacking, they can learn.
Yeah.
Because the framework of the individual, like, the skill set you cannot teach, the morals, the character, the work ethic, the discipline, those are there. Everything else, if you can teach it, they'll learn it.
Yeah.
Just give them some time. They'll flourish. They'll be just fine.
Oh, yeah. And the one thing I'll say this, because I think you'll like this because you get a better sense of this.
I love this shit.
I will never forget there was a guy, and he's not a part of the team anymore. But, like, and I do this all the time. I don't know if this is my background or just how I am, but, like, the guys that I really care about, I'm like, hey, man, have a good day, love you. Like, I probably say it to at least 10 guys every practice. And that's where I genuinely have a love for my students. That's just, I don't have family, don't have any of that stuff. I got Sabina and the gym, that's it. So for me, like, I love them. That's part of me. I literally had somebody tell me, you need to stop telling your students you love them. The fuck? He goes, yeah, dude, they're not your family. You don't really love them. Stop telling them. That's weird. And I said, okay, don't ever come to my gym again. Right then and then, his membership ended. He wasn't allowed back. If you're going to tell me that I can't love on my students, you're not a part of this.
Well, it's also...
So I didn't understand that one.
Well, I can understand... I can understand the aversion to... Because you have to understand, like, some people, like... I want to be careful how I say this because I don't want to...
He was a grumpy asshole.
Well
like
but
literally, like
what circumstances led to him being a grumpy asshole is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not excusing the actions that he took that led to you canceling his membership. But what I am trying to say is, like, there's a deeper story with that individual.
100%.
Like, there's a reason why he came up to you and said, "Don't do that," and it wasn't because he was just uncomfortable in the moment.
Yeah.
As I age, I realize that no one does anything in a singular moment, like, irrespective of their life.
Right.
So, like, for every action, for you to get that and be like, oh, go fuck yourself, there was a lot of variables that culminated in that action, right?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, okay, well, bye, like, without any thought.
Yeah.
There was something that was going into that. So, at this point in my life, I think to myself, like, I always try to put myself in their perspective, and sometimes the outcome of that is, okay, well, they're fucking stupid. The outcome of that is like, you're low IQ, you don't understand what the fuck you're talking about, and that's fine. Like, teach their own. We're all God's children, but then it is what it is. The only reason I bring that up is there are circumstances and stories that you've told me already where you've made the most out of interactions because they've gone positively.
Yeah.
But I also see that there's a correlation to negative interactions in you closing the door.
100%. 100%.
But
I'm just not shy about it.
Yeah, but don't you think maybe they deserve a second shot?
It's yes and no. There's and
by the way, I wasn't in these situations, so I'm kind of like,
and that was part
I'm
of
the fly on the wall, right?
Yeah, that wasn't the first time.
Okay,
that was about number 4 or 5. That was just the final. You're gone. Because
that makes more sense then.
Yeah, and I'll say this: I 100% have done stupid shit. I made a bad first impression. Hey, I did something, and I had to come back from that. So I do give second chances, sometimes thirds. But also, too, when you hit that third strike, you're out, Jack.
Well, that's where we go back to the culture mentality of like, hey, listen, I'll give you opportunities, all these things. I guess the only reason I bring that up is maybe I'm getting soft. Like honestly, that's probably what it is more than anything. Is like I'm just getting fucking softer.
No, you're getting older, mature, brother.
Maybe.
Because I was worried. I'll say this because I got 10 years on you. I started to get softer and more compassionate. But that also was some of the leadership of, hey, you don't know this guy's story. Where's he coming from? So with the leadership, you watch Jocko?
Yeah.
Willie Galil? That book, Extreme Ownership, and I got the first edition. He actually made that comment when I had him sign it. He's like, first edition. Nice. That cool-ass voice he has. But also, too, with learning, when I was younger, like mid-20s, I had no business being a manager. None at all.
Yeah, you're young.
Because, I was the young hard ass. I was like, if you don't have this, you're out. Because I thought that's what a manager needed to be like. Mm. And then when I realized, no, like there were some hard ass managers that knew how to shift and talk, started to learn. So you being around more people, you're learning how to talk and give and take. You're not getting soft. You're learning how to communicate. Because, man, my communication and sports psychology minor. So getting back to some of that. But also, too, is just learning, hey, why is this person like that? Okay, well, it came from that. And you started to do that to me. And I was like,
I'm trying to figure out you, because this is the first time that you and I have sat down.
Yeah.
And had any sort of like long conversation, and even the conversation that we had prior.
Yeah.
It is a byproduct of this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't mean to do it more than anything else, but what I'm trying to do is you want to know what I have? I have another 2 hours with you to have a conversation with you that I don't think you knew you wanted to have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Because anybody's going to ask you about your history and everything like that, but I'm trying to understand like who you are too. Mm-hmm. There were aspects of this conversation that I resonate with deeply and that I align with 100%. Mm-hmm. And there's other aspects that I think there's more to this because you would not have come to that conclusion immediately. So like when you tell me that this was not the first time, then I'm like, that makes more fucking sense.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I said, when I was like younger, the personal training, and actually we go back to when I was fighting and when I was in college, I always read like biographies of athletes because it was, what are they doing to get where they're at? What are they eating? What are they training?
Their mentality.
What's their routine? Yeah, all that. So I really became obsessed with what other people did, and I picked and chose. And then when I got into personal training manager, I had to, what do leaders do when people are in charge? So then all the football coaches started reading their books. And then I started reading some boxing and MMA coaches. And then I started to, 5'10" white boy, you can't play basketball, but the guy who runs Duke, he's pretty good. Why don't you read his book? So I started just, hey, I want to learn about any coaches. What do they do?
What are some things that you found in common with all of them?
So there's different types of coaching. There's the stoic coaches, not that guy. There's the ones who put people down. And there's lots of other categories, but this is just how I break people down so I can understand, because keep it simple, stupid. You're going to have the dictators, and those are the people that tell you what to do, the micromanagers. Me, I'm a kind of a mix. I'm definitely the player's coach. I'm the coach that, hey, I can get in your ass, but also, too, I'm going to put my arm around you and love on you. A really good example, Mike Timlin. Mike Variable, the Steelers and Patriots coaches. Those are the coaches that I resonate with because those are the coaches that I would play for. And there's some people, I am not the right coach for you. I'll openly say that. There's a lot of people, I ain't the right coach. And there's
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and there's other people, I'm that coach for you. So I just realized I play for and even too when I was working, like when I was doing security, if I had a boss that had my back and I knew like, hey, he trusts you, he has your back. If there's an issue, you guys are going to talk, and he was a player's coach. Those are the guys that I'm going to be loyal to this. So
that's a slippery slope, though, because when you get invested in individuals, have you ever found yourself in a position where you wanted it more than the actual individual athlete?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you get not committed, but you feel like an emotional tie to these people because you see how hard they're working. By the way, I'm the exact same coach. I'm the same way. I tell my kids, I'm like, if I'm hard on you, it's because I believe in you and I see the potential in you. And if you don't want that, tell me now. You know what I mean? I'll be your best friend, and I'll also be the one that's on you the hardest. And luckily for us, it's resonated well with the kids. But I resonate exactly with what you mean. However, I found myself in this position, but I know if I did, that means you did.
Yep, exactly. And here's what I tell my guys too, is because I've gone and I've had like corner like 5 guys who are fighting.
Ooh, that's a busy night. God
Dude,
bless.
that is a busy night.
God, 5?
But then they'll say like, hey, I'm probably going to have somebody corner. I said, hey, man, do you want me to be your corner? Do you want me to be your fan? I don't care. Tell me what you need today. I got you. And that's really, now that before I was trying to tell people like, oh, I've done this, so you need to do this. Now I'm just, well, what do you want to do? And then that's
wisdom.
Yeah, and this is what I do with my guys. And it doesn't matter if they're college kids and they have a question about life, if they have a question about like competing, and it doesn't matter if it's grappling, stand up, whatever, asking a girl out for a date or doing a job after college. I say, well, tell me what you want out of this. Okay, tell me more. And then I say, okay, well, this is big brother time. And that's how I always say, I'm like, this is big brother. I'm not your parent. I'm going to give you some advice. You could do this, and this is what I could see happening. You could go down this road, and I could see this happening. Sometimes there's a third road they can take. And then I say, whatever option you pick, I'm going to support you, but make sure you know the pros and cons of all of them. So at this point, I'm not anybody's parent. I'm not, telling them what to do. Tell me your problem. Okay, well, what do you want as a solution? All right, well, I feel like here's your options. Of these options, you make that decision. I got your back. And I've had that conversation with people who are thinking about staying here after they graduate, getting a shit job just to train. Or they have a 6-figure job, but they're going to have to live in mom's basement. All right, well, you're going to make a lot of money, but you're not bringing any girls home. And, it's going to be weird living at home with mom and dad because you've been on your own for 5 years. If you go here, you're going to live with your boys and you're going to train. Life's going to be a little hard, but eventually it can work out. But you're going to have to sacrifice your comfort of mom's basement with money. Which one you want? And some kids, like Gremlin and Eli, they're going to want to live hard. And I'm going to give a great example is Rocco. Love him to death. He could have stayed here. He could have gotten really good at jiu-jitsu. Man, he's making 6 figures doing sales, and he's doing damn good.
There's no wrong path. There's just right or more right for you. That's how I always tell it to the kids. It's like you should not think of it as like bad or good. You should just think of it as like shades of good. Like ultimately, progress is good.
Yeah.
So like if you're progressing towards something versus something else, then all we're really discussing is the measurement of like the difference between these two outputs. But regardless, progress was made. So good came from it.
Oh, yeah. I tell you a really good, flip example. My kid, Vinny, Baby Stallion's his nickname. And
that's a good nickname.
It actually, I'll tell you how he nicknames
How old does he have to get until he's just regular Stallion?
Well, I knew him for about 2 weeks, and Scott was fighting. So I said, why don't you come down to St. Louis with us? He goes, I'm only 19. I go, don't worry, come on in. I just brought him in, and I made him wear all of my gear, put a hat on.
Oh, jeez.
Walked past, and, I didn't have a ticket for him or nothing.
Allegedly.
And, yeah, allegedly. And was walking out, and they were like, "Hey, who's that?" I was like,
He's a corner.
"Yeah, yeah, I said he was fighting." They're like,
Oh, okay.
like, he looks young. And I was like, well, yeah, that's baby stallion. I'm Italian stallion. Keep going. And I just shoved him. And that's how he got the nickname. I had him in the back, and Matt Hughes was babysat him because no one's going to say shit when you sit next to Matt.
Fair.
And I went and snuck in my fiance. Because this is what I do. I do this on purpose. Is I will not buy her a ticket anywhere. I just go up to the places and I go, hey, I'm the coach. Yeah. I was like, I need the one for the code. Like, what? I was like, the coach has a hot woman. Give me one. And they
has anyone ever said
they
no?
don't say shit. They go,
until you get the woman at the front. Until you get the woman at the front.
no, for that one, I just say, I need one for my woman. And I just take it.
Nice.
If it's a girl, I just take it. If it's a guy, I say, it's for the code. What? I got a hot fiance. Give it to me.
Done.
And they don't, no one has said shit. So Sabina always goes, did you get me a ticket? I was like, yeah, I got you one.
Got you, babe.
I do it now just for my own thing.
I'm curious. You said that this Tommy individual was very influential in your life and got you to first started going to Heath Pedigo's gym. And you said that it was like once every 2 weeks, and then it slowly kind of morphed into something more.
Twice a week.
Forgive me. But then you started your gym very soon after getting inundated with the PSF culture, right?
Yes.
So you said that you had created 4 gyms. I'm going to kind of go through this chronologically.
Sure.
The first gym, was it like a PSF affiliate right from the get-go?
100%. Yeah.
And Heath was willing to do that even though he only knew you for a short amount of time?
Yeah, so this is how that came about. And this is good. I've been waiting to get to this.
Sorry.
No, it's great. You're a good talker. But so I had to go down and train at headquarters and just make sure that
You were up to snuff.
Yeah, and this was the start of this, and I didn't understand what was going on. So I drove down there, and again, COVID lockdown. I went down there with 2 pillows and a blanket and some clothes, and I was like, I'll figure it out. And I told Tommy had kind of like prearranged it with Heath, and Tommy told me, he goes, I was 50-50 if you were really going to do this. But I did stop in Matt too. Like I needed to give Tommy the hug, and I needed the words of encouragement. And Tommy, the only thing really Tommy said, he goes, don't go in there and be arrogant, and don't be a bitch and quit. That was about it. He goes, just be yourself, but don't be arrogant. And I was like, okay, that's about all the direction he really gave me. And he told me he was proud of me for doing this. And that was right there. I was like, I ain't leaving. When Tommy told me he was proud of me for actually going down, because he saw the shit packed in my car. So I went down there, introduced myself, and everybody was kind of standoffish. And that was like, I understood that was going to happen.
Look at the new guy.
Yeah, I was the new guy walking into this badass gym. And it was a small laundromat, 1 bathroom, and that bathroom was atrocious. But it was, I didn't care, man. It was some old shitty mats, shitty carpet. All right,
that's got the work done, though.
I'm good, man, because it reminded me of when Tommy and I used to train. So I was like, all right, I get why I'm here. And I was not ready for the pace, the intensity, the heat of that little room. I wasn't.
What was the first practice like? Was there like a ramp-up period, an instructional?
5-minute rounds, go.
Oh, you went on a live day?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Didn't give a shit about me.
Talk about trial by fire.
Yeah, and I think I might have scored 1 point. Like I might have like swept somebody, but that's it. I got worked like a cheap hooker on New Year's. That's the best way I can describe it, and I always have been. And it was awesome. And afterwards, after I kind of like got my life back together, I was like, hey guys, I'm going to go get something to eat. Do you guys want anything? Because I was trying to be courteous, like, hey, let me break bread with these guys. Every single one was like, yeah, right, we'll see you later. I was like, all right, guys. And so I didn't understand what was going on. So I went and got some Mexican food, chicken, rice, and peppers, because I knew it was going to be another day. And I came back, and I had my food. And these guys that were living there in the gym, they go, oh, you came back. I was like, well, yeah, I asked if y'all wanted something. So I just ate my food. No one talked to me. I went in my corner and read my books. I'm a nerd. Like I brought a book with me. So I was just reading a book, and no one talked to me. And I was like, all right, cool, well, going to bed. And then I woke up the next morning and no one was awake. So I just, all right, well, I'm going to go get some breakfast and coffee. And I came back and they were starting to like rise up and they were like, oh, you're still here. I was like, yeah, I was going to get breakfast. And Ash goes, you guys were sleeping. And they just didn't talk to me. So like, all right, I know how this is going. So the shower that morning was I was out in the front in my underwear and I
hosing yourself
down.
a
bottle of water, soaped up, one bottle to rinse off and another one to finish off. And I was like, all right, boy, I'm good. Another practice, got the shit beat out of me. All right. And then, afterwards, like, hey, guys, I'm going to go get something to eat. You guys want anything? Same thing. Yeah, we'll see you later. When we got Chipotle, they came back. Oh, you came back. Yeah. Didn't talk to me. So I was very alone by myself. Practiced again. Ass whooped. I'm going to go get something to eat. Do you guys want anything? Same fuck off. Came back. Oh, you came back. Yes.
How many times do I got to do this?
I came back. So same thing. Got up, ate breakfast. I just didn't care. And then ate breakfast. And then they started rising like, hey, I'm still here. So then we had a night practice. Or I'm sorry. At that time, then they said, hey, do you want to go shower at Marshall's house?
A proper shower.
Okay.
That's an olive branch.
Yeah. And then, so I went and took a shower and then they were having, not cooking out. They had a bonfire. So that's where I met Alejandro. So I'm at the fire talking to guys and Alejandro goes, oh, look, he's still here. And I go, what the fuck is going on? Why do you guys keep saying that? Like, I didn't understand. They said, they're like, well, we knew that you were the guy that wanted to start a PSF gym. They're like, you're number 9 or 10 guys that said they were going to come. After the first practice or first night, they say they're going to go get something to eat, call their wife, call their mama, and they never come back. You're the only guy that stayed. And I didn't know that. And I go, oh, I see. So then the next day at practice, this was Sunday now, had practice. Finally met Heath. I'd never met Heath before. He just
first couple of days you were just
Heath told him to beat the shit out of me and get me out of there. Heath told him that, and he stayed. So I finally met Heath, and Heath goes, "Oh, you stayed," and nice to meet you.
Thanks for the welcome.
Yeah, but I understand it now. And then the second round, I went against a guy and cracked heads, and if you look close, there's still that scar right there. Started bleeding. So I just went and got a paper towel. I'm, dabbing my head. And Heath went up to me. He goes, you okay? And I showed him. So he goes,
any stitches?
I probably should have. Doesn't mean I went and got him.
Put some tape around that paper towel.
Super glue. And I used Gorilla Glue.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And Heath said to me, he goes, do you want to quit and get stitches? Do you want to keep going? I just looked him right in the eye. I said, Heath, I was ugly before I came here. We're good. Once we're good, I'm getting back in it. So after about every 2 rounds, I had to go dab it and kept going. So I said to Heath, Heath, had a great time. I'm from, where I'm from. I said, me and some guys, we want to leave my coach and start our own thing. Could you give us some guidance? And he said, tell you what, if you ever come back, we'll talk about it. And then he turned around and did the walk-off. I said, I'll see you next weekend. So I yelled that at him. Drove home next day. Maddox, student number 1, him and another guy came with me. And he told me, he goes, since you came back, I'll talk to you. If you wouldn't have came back, I'd never talk to you again. So Heath goes, all right, well, we did the practice. My guys got worked. And he goes, well, why don't you step into my office and talk to me? I go, where's your office at? The only room is this in the bathroom. He goes, oh, it's the mat over here. I go, my kind of office, baby. And he didn't give me a lot of guidelines. He just said, I want you to train these guys hard. I want you to listen to me and Tommy and come down and learn from us. I said, I want you to love on your guys, be good to them, and make champions. That's the only direction he gave me at that time. And I was like, what?
So you had already started your gym then? You already had students, or were these the students that you had underneath your tutelage when you were at the other gentleman's gym? Forgive me.
They were friends and acquaintances because I'd always been a gym workout guy. I've always been a personal trainer, and at this time I had already fought MMA. So at the bars and gym, they were kind of like, if you mess with Jared, he's going to hit you. I didn't.
You've developed a reputation.
I was the guy who knew how to fight. They knew I had done, fighting. I had that background, and they knew from the bars that if you did some stupid shit, I was going to handle the business. That's about people knew he had that background, but they also knew I was a good person. I was, trying to help people. So they trusted me, and we joined that other guy's gym. And then when the time came to leave, this is what I told them. I said, hey, guys, I'm under Heath now. I'm going to start a gym. If you want to be a part of this, cool. You and I were friends before. If you stay with this other coach, we're still friends. That's completely separate. I said, you're still my friend. So the 10 guys that I had brought over to this gym, 9 of them came with. So I had, I think, about 8 or 9 students when I started. And what we did is I reached out to Tim Morthland, who runs the Fuji in Indy. And his hometown was about 20 minutes from me. So what happened is I reached out to my buddy Austin, who owned like a CrossFit style gym. So mats got delivered from Fuji on Sunday night, put in the corner, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It took an hour to put those mats down. We did practice for 2 hours, cleaned them, flipped them, put them away every night.
Wow.
I did that for probably about 8 months. And this is the part that really separates, are you going to be a gym owner or are you going to be a bitch? And that is what I told myself is there was a couple times when I set everything up, no one showed up. Yeah. So for an hour, I set the gym up, sat around for 45 minutes, no one showed up. You got to clean up, Jack. Flip the mats, lifted them up. This is all going to be worth it. Put it away. You flip that mat. This is all going to be every fucking step. You say this is going to be worth it one day. And I knew that. And sure enough, I did that every single time, a couple times. And then what ended up happening was, and I'll never forget this, when I first started, I was so excited to have 5 students because with me, there were 6. We had 3 groups of 2 people.
Everyone
Hell
get around.
Yeah, everybody could rotate.
Unless someone got hurt.
So and then there was a time where those mats had to be gone for 3 weeks. So I had to buy 2 little wrestling circles. And that's all I could run for about 3 weeks was those 2 circles. And I had a broke elbow. So I couldn't even train because
in the grunges, man.
How shitty this was with those circles. One of my buddies came, and he's a big, huge, like, D-end in college. He just had that mass that he threw me. I came down off the mat, elbow on the concrete, and broke my own
because
elbow.
You didn't have even the mat space for it, yeah.
No. So I ended up saving up all my money, and I bought some actual jiu-jitsu mats.
Did it ever occur to you, or did it ever run through your mind to take out debt for that? Like take a loan out, forgive me.
A little bit, but I was like, no, man, just make it work this way. Because how I started my garage gym, I had a bench, dumbbells up to 30, and like one other piece of equipment. And what I did is, because my first business was the personal training, if I made about $200 personal training, $100 went to new equipment, $100 went to whatever. Got to $500 a month, $250 new equipment, $250. So I kind of figured out how to get gym equipment with that math.
Well, you also made it work through austerity measures. You only spent the money that you had.
Yeah, so
that's why I asked, though, did it ever occur to you to possibly take out debt?
At that time, no, because I had free mats. I was making some money. Make it work. Suck it up. Because this is truly how I looked at it. How did Tommy make shit work in that shitty place?
I'm very impressed with you.
How did Heath make it work? You can make it work. Just make it happen. And that's what I did. And so I ended up, and also too, like I was still personal training. So when I was working full time at a chiropractic office.
Of course you were, dude.
On my lunch
break,
you
weren't making money from the gym.
No.
So you had a full-time job.
No, and this was even when I was dating Sabina. She'll tell you.
God bless Sabina.
God bless her. And she deserves somebody better than me, and I should be treating her better because, like, I can't say enough good things about her. But she would be sleeping at my home. I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, personal train somebody just so I could make $30, get up, or I'd go back to sleep, get up, work, coach people during my lunch hour to personal train to then get more money, personal train, go coach at night while working. So my personal training money and the gym money was together. Half was saving up for mats, half was for bills.
How many hours a day do you think you were working at that time? Total.
More than I should have.
15,
probably,
14 hours?
Probably 14 to 16, depending on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, probably 14 to 16 between full-time personal training and coaching.
One of my favorite quotes is entrepreneurship is where entrepreneurship is when you are willing to work 60-hour weeks so that you never have to work a 40-hour week.
Absolutely.
And I love that quote.
You know, I'm going to have to remember that one because it's the truth.
It's the fucking truth.
Yeah. And then ended up saving enough money to buy mats from China during COVID lockdown. That was fun getting them over. And I had to learn about ordering from China, shipping on a vessel. Yeah. Oh, man, I cussed that motherfucker out a lot. And then because
suddenly the Navy matters.
and then it had to sit in quarantine for 3 weeks and then get shipped to us. So like it was.
How long did it take from purchase to delivery? 3 months?
4.5 months.
Fuck.
And it said it would only take 3.
Yeah, okay.
So that was you're learning. Like, you know, there's no blueprint for owning a gym.
You also did it at a time that was like extremely tumultuous.
I'll never do that shit again.
Normally, it would not have taken that long. Like,
yeah, but it was cheaper for me to get them from China and pay that shipping than get them from Texas and shipped.
This is such a breath of fresh air for me. I want to tell you a story if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
We were at some fights, and I want to keep this vague because I don't want the individual to know that I'm talking about him, but we were at some fights for a friend of ours. It was his birthday, so we were doing like a little get-together watching some UFC fights. And this person is in the MMA community and like wants to start their own gym and had been drinking a little bit. And I guess he looked at me as like his wallet, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he's like, Arion, we got to start a gym. And here's the thing about me. I don't know if it's like a itch that I have, but I love hearing entrepreneurial pitches because even if I'm not interested, I like to see how much like effort they put into like the P&L and all these other things. Like, how much thought have you put into this? Because you're obviously feeling bold enough to ask me for my money. I want to see how do you have all your bases covered. He gives me this fucking pitch about like, we can set this gym up. I found a place. I go, okay, let me see this place. I get on Zillow. Yeah. It's a warehouse at good square footage, new AC, all these other things. I go, great. Okay, what else? He's like, I got these mats for discount. We could buy them from this school. I go, even better. Great job. Okay, why do you need me? He said, what do you mean? I go, you didn't tell me what like my value add is here. Like, why are you talking to me and not somebody else? Well, you have money, you can invest. I go, if the metric for whether your business is successful or not is money, go to a fucking bank and get a loan.
Yep.
And I told him, I go, the reason why you're talking to me is you did all this due diligence, you did all this work, you did all this groundwork, and you don't have the balls to execute yourself because you don't really believe in yourself. Yep. Because if the only metric for success for your business is money, get a fucking loan. Yep. If you believe in yourself, you'd take the risk. I go, the reason why I would never give you $1 is because you didn't take out a loan. If you told me I want you and I want your value add to be like the financier, but also like the salesman for like whatever, okay, we could have that conversation. Yeah. But then there's a value add outside of just money.
Yeah.
So I was like, what you want to outsource the risk to me so that you can live out your fantasy.
Yeah. He didn't want any skin in the game.
And by the way, I said this. I never do this, but I broke my rule because he made the mistake of doing this in front of everybody. The right way to do it was to wait until the night was over. He chose fight 3 in the undercard. Hey, I got a business opportunity for you. I was like, hey, man, I can't wait for you to eat shit in front of all your friends and family, including his fiance and everything. And dude, when I tell you, I like handed it to him. I said everything I just said to you, but like in front of everybody, and everyone was looking at me and everyone was looking at him. It's the last time I've ever heard him talk about starting his gym.
Hey, good. But that's the thing. That
and reality check. But I hear you tell a story about how you fucking woke up at 4:30 in the morning to make $30 and you had to take the Fuji mats out, use them, clean them up, flip them over, put them back up. It's like, you're right. If you want to do it, if you believe in yourself, you'll make it fucking happen. And if 100%. And if you're not willing to do all these other things, but you believe in yourself and you're willing to take the risk, you'll make it happen. Yeah. I say that story because there's a lot of people that think they want to be entrepreneurs. And I'm not trying to sound dismissive. I think that everybody should pursue whatever it is that they feel a passion for.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you fucking ask people for their money, including a bank, if you take out a loan from a bank, you're asking them for money, right? The least you can do is actually believe in what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah. No, I've
the least you can do.
Never took a loan out for the gym. I've never taken money out.
Because you made it work.
Never.
You never had to.
No. And
God bless, by the way.
Yeah.
God bless.
Well, you'll like the next story is because so I bought those mats from China, got them delivered, and then a local high school wrestling coach, fuck him, he literally said to me, "Hey, I want to help you and I want to grow wrestling. I want to start a wrestling program, and can we use your mats?" Absolutely, it's for the local community. He seemed like a good guy. And I said, okay. And these were the mats where it's Velcro. It's not just like a straight mat, like wrestling. It's a Velcro mat.
Meaning the Velcro would go over the mat.
Yeah, so you have to take it off delicately or it's going to
rip all the way off.
All the foam off. 2 weeks after I paid. And I emptied my savings.
Do you mind if I ask how much it was?
It was over $5,000. So it's probably about like around $7,000 because I'd like pay some other shit.
But this was for shipping, for everything.
Everything.
$7,000.
And it was the money that I'd saved up from getting up at 4:30, going on my lunch, like a sacrificing lunch break.
It felt like your own blood.
And then he ruined them. So I called him. I said, "What the fuck did you have?"
How did he ruin them? For the Velcro?
He just ripped it. So like there were literally parts of like that plastic foam that were gone. Like it wouldn't line up. I couldn't get him stick. And I called him and he goes, "I didn't do that." I was like, "Yes, you did. You used them Sunday night. This is Monday. They are fucking ruined. No one's done." And he goes, "I didn't do it. I rolled them up." I was like, "No, you didn't. Come look at them right now." I was like, "Get your ass here." And he literally like, there was like a sign. I was like, "Hello, are you there?" And he goes, "Don't ever fucking call me again." He blocked me. So I was literally dumbfounded. And I was looking at my guys and I was like, "Guys, I don't know what to do." And then the gym owner, and him and I have like reconciled. We're friends, but at that time he said, "Listen, that's between you guys. It's not my problem either. I'm staying out of it." So the gym owner didn't have my back. And Austin's a good guy. Him and I have talked since then. We've hugged it out. Like, we're good.
Well, it's difficult because it's a he said story.
And
it's tough to take a side.
It was a bad situation for him. Him and I have talked. He doesn't talk to that wrestling coach either. Fuck him too. And Maddox, student number 1, that man, and I'm gonna say this too. He's graduating from the police academy. I am so proud of him for doing.
Shout out Maddox.
Yeah, like love that guy.
Thank you, brother.
So he literally looked at me. He said, "Jared, let's put these mats in my basement. We can run the gym out of my home." So I huddled the guys up and said, "Guys, Maddox, you tell him because I can't talk right now." Because I was level 10 hot, ready to break shit. Maddox said what we were doing. All the guys, we strapped them in the car. We actually put some in my back of my SUV, and we also strapped them to the hood. We loaded them in cars. We took everything out of that gym that night. We ran practice out of Max's basement for 4 months.
Forgive me for asking this. Why did you need to move the mats from that gym?
Fuck them. I didn't trust anybody that day. I had that. I'm done with this place. I'm never coming back here. You're not protecting my business. If I see that,
including the gym owner, who at the time did not take your side.
At that time, both of them, I did not give a rip. I didn't care about anybody. Get me out of this gym. Get my stuff out of here. We'll figure it out.
I'm out.
That was my. We're gonna figure this shit out with a broke elbow. So we ran the gym out of Max's basement for about 4 months.
Forgive me. I have to ask this.
Yeah.
Is there ever a part of you that said, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Absolutely. That was like the next part of this. For the 4 months, we got the cops called on us a couple times because there's so many people outside his home.
Yeah, it's a residential property. It's not a commercial.
Yeah, and I was, luckily, I had some guys who were cops. I was like, "Hey, Evan, can you come up here?
You guys want some free training? I'll teach you some arm bars."
Yeah, they were. But one of the guys, I'm not going to give names, but they went back down and watched the whole practice.
I'm sure they fucking did. If I was a cop, I would.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can I get a discount?
Yeah, but this is the God's honest truth. Probably, I think every other practice, I was in my driveway. I couldn't go home crying. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm a blue belt. I'm a blue belt gym owner, homeless gym. And 4 times I text Heath. Like, I didn't text him. I wrote up an essay. Well, why? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry I let you down. And I was like, I was never going to talk to Tommy or Heath again. I was going to quit jiu-jitsu.
Because you were so what?
Ashamed, thinking I was a fuck up, thinking I wasn't a good gym owner, thinking I was letting people down. Just every negative thought went through my head. I looked real good on social media though, but I was
Tells
really,
you a lot about social media.
Oh, dude, I was ugly girl crying when I was typing this up.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
No, it's fine, man. I'm not a good looking crier. And then this is what I said, because like then I looked back at all those stories of like the athletes and the coaches that all went through bad situations. They were gonna quit. And this is what I said to myself the 4 times I wrote up the essay to Heath I was gonna quit. I said, you go inside and you go to bed. You know, you love on your 2 dogs, you talk to Sabina. If you're gonna quit, you're gonna send it in the morning.
It's very wise of you.
Yeah. I woke up the next morning and I read that and I was like, motherfucker, you're not going out like that.
It's a new day.
So what ended up happening is then we moved. So I saved up the money. And I don't know why, but the guys, for some reason they believed in me. I don't know why at that point in time. But they were still paying me the dues. And some guys I said, listen, I'm going to drop you down to bare minimum. But I said, I'm doing this to open a better gym. I swear I'm not doing anything stupid. And I was even showing guys the bank account. This is where this money's going.
Well,
I'm not
they
spending.
Believed you, man.
Yeah, I said I am not going to let this. You know, I was like, I'm not going to be this guy. So then we moved from being homeless to a 660 square foot gym. So I had.
It's a little tight.
Yeah, so I had. I called it the 6 circles because we had a wrestling mat with 6 circles.
Can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
So when someone is thinking like wrestling mat, forgive me, because you're kind of alluding. So like I'm not talking about like NCAA championship wrestling mat. If you flip those mats over, they have like small individual circles.
Yes.
So like each mat, 2 mats can have like 1 circle.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about
not even a full wrestling.
Yeah,
mat,
not
2/3.
even. So like if you look at the NCAA championships, 6. You're talking about if there's 10 rollouts for 1, college wrestling circle.
2 rollouts.
You got
we had 2 rollouts.
so 2 rollouts. You're talking about 1/5 of a college wrestling mat. So when he says 6 circles, let me put that into perspective.
6 baby
6
circles.
baby circles.
Practice circles.
Yeah.
Is what they're called.
But you fucking made it work.
Yeah, and so 660 square feet, 6 circles, what do you call it? A real shitty like two bench thing, which I still have, and then a creepy hallway that the guys changed in, and that's how you got to the bathroom. Had that for about a year and a half, and I don't know how no one went through the window. Like there was 2 windows
Right next to the.
Yeah, it was a hair salon and then I got edible arrangements. So it was, and I learned real quick, don't ever, if you own a gym, do not buy a place that used to be food service because they have the grease trap. That place smelled like shit for a year and a half. Terrible smells. But we made it work, and I wouldn't.
It would have smelled terrible even if you didn't have that. It's a jiu-jitsu gym, so
Yeah, so you had dude BO.
give you some
and
credit.
Yeah, and so we had about 25, 30 people when we started, and then it got to the point where we were having.
That's a good size people, dude.
Yeah,
25 to 30
When we were getting 25 to 30, we were getting 20 people on that mat.
on 6 circles.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
made it work.
Yeah.
One night we had an ISU MMA
you
group.
got to stagger them.
We had 50 people there one night.
Woo!
And that was stand in front of the windows
shoulder
and push
to
them.
shoulder, yeah.
And right then I was like, okay, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but we
Gotta
need
expand.
to get bigger. So
God bless.
moved to a 2,000 square foot gym. And that was when I started training Scott Etling. So, because Scott Etling, the gym I was at, he was with them because they had a bigger space at that time. But same thing.
Were you also doing MMA or just jiu-jitsu though?
Only
Forgive me.
coach. I had retired from fighting. The
Got you.
whole time I had opened up my gym, done with
So by
fighting.
the time you were training with Scott, you were doing it from the perspective of just a coach.
Just coaching,
Gotcha,
yeah. And
gotcha.
then Scott and I, we just 2 good old boys.
What did you tell him how to beat me? What was the game plan?
No, you guys had already fought. So
Okay.
this
Okay,
was.
sorry.
I think you guys had fought, and after that was when he went with us.
And he came and started.
Yeah, so
training with
you weren't in our life at that time.
Sorry. I'm an asshole. What
Now I will tell the
was
story.
the secret sauce?
I'm gonna say how Scott got the nickname Sprinkles is when we moved to this gym, the 2,000 square foot gym. Scott's the man. Scott will never pay a due ever again the rest of his life as long as he's with me.
Wow.
I will never take a dime from that man.
Wow.
He literally gave me the MMA cage for free.
How did he have it?
I don't know. I didn't ask questions. I said, okay, baby. It was his, he had that like in storage.
And he's like, hey, you want to use this?
Yeah, I don't know how the hell he got it, but it was actually used in a
Scott.
fight. So yeah, he had 6 panels, and he gave me 4.
A hexagon, yeah.
I didn't know what to say. And not only that, Scott helped me build the gym. And I was working night security at a hospital. So I'd work at night, get off work, shower, go help Scott for a couple hours, sleep for a little bit, go back, coach at the 6 circles, and then go work night shift. And there was 2 rounds of, in 3 days, I only slept 4 hours. I was like, you've been tired before, suck it up. And Scott helped me build a bathroom and a shower. Like, Scott, if it wasn't for Scott, the gym would have been successful because of what he gave us. He'll never pay a dime at my gym ever again the rest of his life. Only took and the 2,000 square foot gym, that was my dream. The size of that, because when I was fighting, a gym like that had, I think we had 12 or 1,300 square feet.
That's of mat space?
Of mat space.
That's immense.
Exactly. Had an MMA cage, which no one else had in the town.
Area? Yeah.
And we had a small weight room just because I'm a meathead. Yeah. So we had a squat.
So it's kind of like an all-in-one.
All-in-one, 2,000 square feet.
Strength and conditioning, fighting,
yeah.
jiu-jitsu.
And then I literally said, because people were going up to me like, well, what are you going to do when you outgrow this? I was like, I will never outgrow this. I'm done after this. All of a sudden, after 4 months, I was having 25, 30 people at practice, and I was up to 70 people. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I'm a blue belt. Everybody else in the entire town, there's 5 gyms. 4 black belts, blue belt Jared.
Yeah, but you're a Heath Pedigo blue belt. That's a different story.
Well, and here's the thing.
Andrew Wilsey was a blue belt and a world champion. So.
Yeah. Well, now you say that, but also, too, in my town, no one knows who the hell Heath is. Like, in the jiu-jitsu world, people know Heath.
So you're uncredentialed and successful.
Yeah, still to this day. So I was just, and I did get my purple belt at that time. So I had moved up to a purple belt, but at the same time, the gym was outgrowing. I didn't know really kind of what was going on. And all I did was I just kept being a good person. Like what he said, be a good person. What I realized is whenever I was at practice, I made it about the guys. Like most of the guys, they don't know my fight record. They don't know my jiu-jitsu.
Doesn't matter.
No, I just cared about my guys. The more I focused on my guys and how we can get more guys in, the better and better it got. And then, let me circle back to sprinkles. So,
Sorry.
Yeah, when Scott and I were doing those long ass shifts, there was a couple times I got off where I said, "Hey, Scott, you want a coffee or something?" So he tells it different, but I'll tell the truth. He wanted a blueberry pancake with it is a sugary drink.
Okay.
And I was like, what do you want? So I said, yeah, can you put a little sprinkles on it for him? Just like talking shit. And after that, I just called.
What the fuck do you order?
I did black
An
coffee.
Americano?
Coffee black. Coffee black, nothing else in it. That's what I do. So I started calling him Sprinkles just to give him a hard time.
Scott wanted a little cream in his coffee, and now he sprinkles forevermore.
So his last fight, I was going grocery shopping. I saw a big thing of Sprinkles.
You're a fuck.
Yes, I am. So I am the master of nicknames. I don't care what anybody says. So I kept that in my bag, and when he was on deck, I put it in his hand. So he was just standing there, just kind of focused, and all of a sudden, big thing of Sprinkles, and he was like,
"Go fuck yourself."
The fuck? That walked out with the bucket, and when he won, I tossed it to him. He goes, "Fuck it." So he was.
I hate to do this, but I want to ask just out of curiosity: is he done? Is he retired?
No, he's coming back.
He's coming back.
Him and I talked because he just bought a new house.
God bless.
And he is so much closer to the gym.
So he can train more regularly.
Yeah, and when it was time for him to move in, I said, guys, we're helping Sprinkles. So it was funny. I wasn't at the practice, and I had 5 guys, and I couldn't help. I could just direct. But yeah, we helped Scott move in. He didn't pay for shit. I said, Scott, you help this gym. I owe you. You don't pay for movers.
It goes back to the original conversation we had about like if you feel lonely as a man, go to a martial arts gym.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, when Scott needed help, I said, you're not paying for movers. I said, you get the U-Haul, you box your shit, we get everything else. We had them all moved in a day.
God bless.
Yeah, and I was like, Scott, you helped me, so I'm going to help you out. So back to the gym though, the 2,000 square foot gym.
You moved from the 660 square foot to the 2K, but then shortly after the 2K, you needed more space.
Year and a half after that. So the place we were at.
Yeah, it's so crazy. You started in 2019. So
yeah.
Holy shit, this isn't like a long time ago.
No, really recent. So the original gym, less than a year, homeless. Between the original gym and we were homeless, that was about 13, 14 months around that time. The Six Circles gym was, okay, do you really want to do this? That was my test of
660 square feet.
Yeah. And the Six Circles. And then when I went to the 2,000, it was like, okay, do you really want to run this gym? And after 4 months, I was like, holy shit, I got something here. And I didn't realize what I was doing. Go ahead and hit stop on that.
It's his phone.
No, it's my phone.
No, you're good. Actually, give it to him. You could just put it on silent, if you don't mind.
It actually is silent. That's my alarm. Go ahead, just turn it off and you're good. Turn it off and you're good. But then we went to the 2,000 square foot gym, and that was, do you really want to run a business?
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm glad you said that.
Once you went from 60 to 70, it wasn't a hobby. It was, you're a gym owner.
You're bringing in money now.
And I was like, and it got to a point where I was making the same amount as my paycheck for my full-time job.
From the gym.
The gym. And so what I did is I paid off.
How hard was that?
Hard as shit.
Because you have to now,
well,
oh my God, this is tangible.
Well, so this is, again, do you want to be a business owner? Or do you want this to be a hobby? So and this is what I've seen too, and this is where, thank God, I've been in the gym world. And I'll never forget Deb, who's my cleaning lady now. She was my boss when I did security. And I'll never forget when I met her, she didn't want to hire me because she goes, this meathead is going to leave and start a gym or he's going to become a cop. So Deb did not want to hire me. And I looked her in the eye and during the interview, and she said, are you sure you don't want to open a gym at some point? I looked at it, I said, I will never own a fucking gym in my life. Excuse my language.
Surprise.
That's what I said to her in my interview. So I'm sorry, Deb, I lied to you. But now she's my cleaning lady. But I had no interest in owning a gym because I've seen so many of my friends that were great trainers. They were fighters and they were good fighters. They opened a gym and a year and a half later it's closed. And they all said to me, I know how to fight. I know how to personal train. I don't know how to run a gym.
Yeah.
So
well, it's also hard to wear multiple hats. You're the leader, you're the instructional educator, and you're also the operational leader in the sense of being the entrepreneur.
And
it's hard to
therapist.
teach. Yeah, dude, being a coach is like 20 hats. Yeah.
And that was.
Heath was correct. Heath was correct when he told you concentrate on the people, because people think that coaching means like teaching them an art. No. Yeah. Coaching means mentorship. You just don't know it yet. Mm-hmm. You're going to mentor them. When you said earlier about the stories about like, I'm not your parent, but that's literally 80% of my conversations as a coach is not even about wrestling.
Yep.
It's about, coach, I want to do this, or coach, what about this? And I had a kid who was like, he's going to graduate this year, and because I'm a high school wrestling coach. Sorry.
Gotcha.
And he was like, I don't think I want to go to school. I go, okay. And he was like shocked. And I was like, then don't go to school. He's like, well, won't I be a loser? I go, I hate that. I go, you haven't talked to enough people yet. Mm-hmm. I was like, what do you want to do? He's like, well, I'm thinking about going to like electric work. I go, okay. He's like, but I don't know if I like it. I go, okay.
Get your finger shocked a couple times.
It was just he was so shocked at how I was like, try things.
Yeah.
I go, do a little bit of HVAC, do a little bit of electrical work, try some concrete. Like, you clearly want to work with your hands. Work with your hands.
Go do it.
Well, yeah. But, like, you might not know how you want to work with your hands, but work with your hands. And, like, it was, like, this epiphanous moment for him. And I'm not going to lie to you. At that time, I didn't realize it. I went home. My wife had cooked up dinner. We sat down. I was eating with my daughter. I was like, I had the weirdest fucking conversation today. And she's like, tell me about it. I go, I don't want to say his name. So-and-so was talking about this, that, or the other. I was like, dude, just fucking do it. And she goes, Arion, do you realize he probably never had that conversation with anybody?
Yep. People were telling him what to do.
Everybody was probably telling him, go to school or go to the whatever, you know what I mean? You were probably the first person that told him, yeah, man, do what you want to do.
Yes.
And that's when it clicked in me that, like, I was like, dude, I always looked at coaches as this, not pseudo father figure, but this North Star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, coach wouldn't tell me something if he thought it would be bad for me.
Right.
What other person do you like connotate that with? For me, it's like a father. It's like a father figure.
Tommy and Heath.
Yeah, it's mentorship, coach, whatever. They share multiple titles, but like ultimately, it's just an older man parting wisdom. Yeah. And that's when I realized that the real thing that I'm doing as a coach, the real thing that you're doing as an entrepreneur, as a gym owner, the vehicle might be martial arts, but the engine under that is just mentorship.
Oh, for sure.
You're just getting younger men ready for being older men. Or what you're also doing is for older men, giving them a home. Going back to what I was talking about earlier about like lonely men, or not even, because I'm not trying to do like a negative thing.
Yeah.
Or like men who feel like they need a little more something. Social, physical, emotional, mental, what have you. They need a little more something. You're offering them that.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. What you said, where it's like they're looking for that home. I can't tell you how many times where like I had a bad day at work or just bad day at home. Went and slept at the gym. That was like me sleeping at the gym.
Zen.
It is my reset. And there's even times too where no shit I was like, I just need to be down in Mount Vernon. And I literally said to me, I was like, Sabine, I need to get the fuck out of town, and I just need to go to Mount Vernon. Why? I don't know. I just need to get the hell out of here. And there was even a time when like I was just going through a bad steak, and I just left the house. And I said, Sabine, I just need to get the fuck out of here. And I called Tommy, and I stayed the night at his gym. And I just said, Tommy, I need to stay at the gym. Don't ask me why.
I don't want to ask too many questions about your fiance, but forgive me. I want to ask one thing. Does she train, or is she completely separated from this world?
No, she's trained like, and that was the one thing I will say about Sabina. She is the most supportive, loving person.
Sounds like it, brother.
Oh my God, she's amazing.
God bless you, but sounds like it.
Yeah, and I put her through hell the first year and a half. I was not a good boyfriend because I didn't really know what I had, and it scared me. So I'll say this on camera. I ghosted her 4 times. None of it's her fault. It was me realizing I had a good person scared me, and I ran away. But I always went back to her. And the time when like now, when I said, I need you in my life, we have to talk. And she 100% was skeptic of it. And she had every right to be. Like, I do not know why she answered the phone, why she came back in my life, but for some reason she did. So this is what I did. When she came back and she came up and we talked and we hugged and we talked and whatnot, I said, we need to go do something right now. And I said, get in the car. And she didn't know. So as romantic as I am, we went to Ace Hardware. And I went, but this is what I did. I got a key made of the house and I gave it to her.
There you go.
And I said, if I ever go
that was low-key romantic, I'm not going to lie. It started off, you had me in the first half.
Yeah, and then I said, if I ever do anything stupid, I tell you, you walk through my door and you can punch me in the face. And then when we went on a long vacation, it was kind of funny because we got back and 2 days later, I said, this is at the Six Circles gym. We got back from vacation 2 days later, I called, I said, you're moving in. I didn't ask. I said, you're moving in with me because I need you. And
isn't that powerful?
My life's been better. And I'll say, even when I proposed to her recently, I proposed to her in Tennessee with this. Well, let me get back to the gym story because it's a good lead up with this.
Sure.
I can say this. If you have the right woman in your life and you're a business owner, you keep her. Don't fuck that up because I did.
Even if you're not a business owner.
Yeah.
Women invest in potential in a way that men don't.
I would not have the gym I have now if it was not for Sabina. I don't give a shit who knows it.
Let me ask you this question, and I'll let you continue. Do you feel like she saw something in you that you didn't even see in yourself?
Still to this day.
That's how you know.
Still to this day, she sees something in me that I don't know what the hell she's doing with me. Yeah, but when we were at that 2,000 square foot gym, she was fully invested, and she was training when I ended up getting hurt, that's when she stopped training. I've said, it's like, honey, like go train. But I know when I'm cleared to train, she'll probably be the first person I train with. It'll be her, Gremlin, Eli, and because I trust them. And Brendan. If I don't say Brendan, he'll be mad at me. And Brendan's a guy I've known since I was 17. Reconnected through the gym. So that's the next podcast.
You're developing an ecosystem.
Yeah, that's the next podcast we're on. But when I was scared of the 2,000 square foot gym because it was too big. I was going to move into like an 18 or 1,700 square foot gym, but I knew something was off. So I called Scott. He doesn't give a shit about my feelings. He's going to tell me how it is. Same with Brennan, because I've known since he was 17. I said, guys, I need you right now. And Sabina, she would have told me what I wanted to hear, not what I needed to hear. So I knew Scott and Brennan were going to tell me what I needed to hear. So I went to this gym that I really was selling them. Like I was selling them on it, but it was smaller. Something about the 2,000 square foot gym scared me. So I had Scott and Brendan. We went to the smaller one, and boy, I was selling them, and I'm a seller. I could talk. I went to the 2,000 square foot gym. Within 30 seconds, Scott goes, this is the one you need. And I looked at Brendan, my friend since 17, so I could give him the look, and he's going to side my way. He looked at me, and he said, Jared, if you don't get this gym, you're a fucking bitch. And I went, I heard that. Our camera guy was laughing at me. And I said, okay, that's all I needed to hear. And the door was locked, but
Did you bring them in because you were doubting yourself or because you didn't believe in the 2,000 square foot?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I was being a bitch. I didn't have the confidence in myself. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my abilities as a coach. I will admit that to the day I die, and I don't give a shit because it's the truth. I had the right people that believed in me. Heath, Tommy, Sabina, Brendan, and Sprinkles. They believed in me. I didn't believe in myself. I'll say that because the first 3 years of entrepreneurship, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I've done so many mistakes. Everything I've done so many wrong things. But I did a lot of right, and I didn't see it at that time. Everybody else did, but I didn't. I needed Brendan and Scott to call me a bitch. I needed them to call me out.
No, I'll tell you what you did right.
Cliffhanger.
Sorry.
No, I'm waiting for
forgive
it.
me.
You have good knowledge.
No. What you did right is what kills 90% of entrepreneurs. When they got hit on the chin, they give up.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, when you talk about how you didn't take debt, when you talk about some of these stories, I'm not trying to glaze you when I say this. Mm-hmm. You have a very special story. Mm-hmm. You've overcome a lot, especially considering the time frame too. So there's macroeconomic forces, microeconomic forces, macroeconomic forces. We keep overlooking this, but you're doing all of this during the recession, during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Well, it's a recession, but what do economists know? Anyway, sorry. So you're growing, you're expanding, you're learning, you're taking shot after shot of I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Forgive me. You're learning what the fuck you're doing in real time.
I did know what I was doing. Trial by fire.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that wait to pull the trigger until everything is perfect. It's okay, good luck. There's never going to be an opportunity where everything's perfect. But I always say this about fighting. I say a lot of guys are great at martial arts and a lot of guys are fighters. Mm-hmm. The fighters are the ones who have to overcome adversity. Yep. It's easy to look good in a fight where you're outclassing the guy. Mm-hmm. You're going to look like a world beater. Yeah. But it's hard when you get rocked in the first fucking round, you lose it. You got to come back in the second and you pull it through in the third. Yep. And everybody loves that underdog story. Why? Because it shows every human emotion about overcoming adversity and rising to the occasion and all the things that we love in Hollywood, right? Yeah. And you're doing this in real fucking time, in actual real life. Yeah. Through business. And business is difficult because it's not one moment. It's every fucking day. Oh, 4 times you had these break moments where you wrote out a text to Heath saying, I'm going to fucking... Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry for falling short and all these other things. God bless that you slept on it.
Yeah. And I was night shift the whole time. Whole entire time. So
you're just sitting on it.
Yeah. And even too when Sabina moved in, the only time I've slept in the same bed with her for more than 3 nights in a row was only on vacation.
Because you were...
I never slept in the same bed as her in Illinois for more than 3 nights in a row. Like in our first 3.5 years of our relationship, I didn't know what it was like to sleep a whole week with her in our bed. I didn't know what that was like. And I had to run in the gym. Like it was very hard. And then, and also when we're at the 2,000 square foot gym, there also was a time when I got really sick and I was in the hospital for 13 days and got down to like 175 pounds.
What were you sick with?
Still don't fully know, but like this is also too my stubbornness. I was like, this is where like first time on camera, I was shitting bloody diarrhea for 4 months and losing weight. I didn't tell anybody. Like I didn't tell Sabina.
Sounds like dysentery.
I don't know. Like,
did you eat some bad shit?
Not for 4 months, like how long that lasted. Like they still don't know if I had like formed something or
either
what.
that or like you had some sort of like,
I don't know if there was like a viral
intestinal, I was going to say,
but
gastro something.
Yeah, I was making the rounds longer on the guys so I could run to the bathroom and have bloody diarrhea.
Fuck you.
Yes.
Fuck you.
But
we're doing 5-minute rounds today. No, we're doing 10.
I 7 with a 30-second rest.
Fuck you.
Thank you. But here's the thing.
Where's Coach at? Oh, he's in the bathroom again. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I waited because this is how good I was at hiding shit. I knew at the 2-minute mark I could run and shit blood for 2 minutes and come back and they wouldn't know. Like that's how good I was at hiding.
You're a
from
savage, dude. You're a fucking savage.
And then
you are. I don't mean this as an insult, Jared.
No, but that was 4 times.
You're a fucking meathead. You're a savage.
100% meathead. I'll take that. And then I wouldn't tell them. Go home and have to shower to clean myself, and then go to work doing night security, and not tell anybody.
I need to ask this. Okay, so on the basis of the thing that you've, the entire narrative that I've heard all night, I have to ask, what is your North Star? Why are you doing all this?
I love it. I love every single day when I wake up in the morning, I am excited to be at the gym. Every single day I wake up, I love that I have a gym with my fiance. I love the guy. I wake up every day loving what I fucking do, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to do this the rest of my life. Like you cannot tell me that I'm not going to do this. And it ended up happening after that. After this place, I outgrew it. So this is the part.
Forgive me, 660 square feet.
2,000
square feet, but we have 2 more gyms.
Well, I was about to move into a 4,000, so I was in space 2.
Dude, 4K is insane.
I was about to move to
space. Is that like a warehouse?
5 and 6. Yeah, it is an open warehouse.
Yeah,
so
4K
I was about to move to from space 2, 2,000. I was going to move to space 5 and 6, which is 4,000. So 4,000 square feet. That was the largest in my town. When I was in North Carolina, so I was learning how to run a gym, so I went out to our affiliate Avery out in North Carolina. He has a 5,000 square foot gym.
Jesus.
So,
God bless Avery.
Yeah. So
good for you, dude.
Avery and I both have our degree in kines, both did MMA, and now we're under Heath. He's the best, in my opinion, of all the PSF affiliates. Avery knows how to run a gym the best.
God bless.
And I have no problem saying this. I think the guys in Rockford do a great job. So they're the guys who I learned from. So I went out to Avery, and when I landed in the airport, I saw on Facebook Marketplace some wrestling mats for sale in my hometown. So I messaged this guy. I said, hey, listen, I want these mats, but I'm in North Carolina. I have the cash. I will pay you cash when I get home. And I had to call in a guy to call in a favor to let him know I was legit. So before I even got in my vehicle to
making deals.
learn, I was hustling, making deals. And then not only did this guy sell me these mats, he had another set that he was also going to sell me. So I'm learning how to run this gym from this guy while making deals back home for my future gym. So I was like, this is meant to be. You're like, the
stars are aligning.
Stars were aligning. Went out to North Carolina, learned from Avery, and that was the most valuable weekend. And Brendan.
What did you learn from Avery? When you say you learned from Avery, you mean like operations?
Yes,
like
operations.
How to run a gym at that scale?
I told him. I said.
How many students did he have? Like 200, 300?
I think it's 300.
Yeah, 4 or 5K. For those that don't realize, rarely will you ever be in an open space indoor that's 5,000 square feet.
Yeah. So
it's immense in scale.
yeah. So I didn't go there to learn any jiu-jitsu from him. That's going to be the next trip.
It's business.
Teach me how to run a gym. And what's crazy is because I met him at Pan's, and then my best friend Brendan from high school, he was out in North Carolina for work, 30 minutes from there. So he was like, hey, do you know anybody in North Carolina? I was like, where are you staying? I was like, holy shit, you're by Avery. And Avery had said, you need to come out and like just, learn how to do this. So I asked him, I said, hey, my friend's staying there. I'm just going to sleep on his couch because they had an Airbnb for work. So I slept on his couch.
It's the most martial arts thing I've ever heard in my life.
I was like, cool, man. I've been homeless before and slept on couches. I've slept in my car before. I'm good. Yeah. I can do this for a week. And I was with my best friend. Good.
Done.
Yeah. So I learned from Avery, making deals. And then when I came back home, I was like, all right, 4,000 square feet. Let's go. We got this. Hey, can you guys put a toilet in? Still to this day. It took them 5 months, and I had
5,000 square feet, no bathroom?
No, it was 4,000.
4,000 square feet.
No bathroom. So it's supposed to be, a 2,000. So there's supposed to be 2 in there. I bought the toilet. I bought the shower. I bought the sink. I bought everything for them to do it. Still to this day, and I went there last week just for the hell of it. They still haven't put the goddamn toilet in.
I don't even know that goes up to code.
So with the gym, when they said, hey, put this in, and I ain't gonna lie at all. I started texting motherfucking them at 6 a.m., which it was wrong
because
on my.
You were worried?
Huh?
Because you were worried?
It already cost me $2-3 grand because I had paid for guys to come in and finish the bathroom, and we were gonna do a bathroom and then my office above it. I paid for all that shit. I scheduled guys to come in. They never put the toilet in. So I started calling motherfucking them at 6 a.m., which is wrong, but at the same time, when you're costing me time, money, and my guys, like, we also planned a seminar.
You're calling the people that didn't install the toilet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not wrong at 6 a.m. No, fuck you.
Yeah.
Come install my toilet. First of all, how'd you forget that?
Well, they said.
Meaning like when you're doing a bathroom and you're like leaving the site and you're like, man, that toilet sure isn't there.
They were like, we can't get this ready. So Gremlin, who got a job right next door, HVAC and plumbing, I walked in that door. I said, can you put this shit in? They go, we can have this done in 5 days for you. People that were right there could get this in 5 days, but they hadn't done it in 3-4 months. So after I start, letting them know what's up, they said the worst thing to me. They said, well, if you're not satisfied, feel free to look somewhere else.
Okay.
And I said, bye. I'm the wrong motherfucker to say that to, and I hung up on them. So for about 10 minutes, I drove around crying like I got dumped on prom night. Like, I am not going to lie. Like, I actually almost got in an accident. I was crying so hard.
Jesus.
Because I was upset. I was like, I outgrew this gym. I bought mats.
These are the trials of success, man.
100%. So this is what happened. I drove 10 minutes driving around crying, like feeling bad for myself, thinking my world ended.
Playing some song music.
100%.
Sad music.
Yeah, man. Lincoln Park. And then in the end, like that's literally is what came on. So that's why, like, I
literally everyone has been there. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, and literally when I put on the song and you hear the song from Linkin Park, in the end, I'm like, and put on country. So I drove around for about 30 minutes, and then I went to the place. There used to be a post office, and they were just trying to sell that. But there's a shopping center across the way. I'm just going to try it. And I saw this huge open space that used to be a paint store. Park, creeped in the window, and I called, and I said, hey, is this spot available? And Tommy, his name is Tommy too.
Yeah, small fucking world.
Yeah, and that's why that was a kind of a little bit, this is the sign. And he goes, yeah, it's available. I said, well, can I look at it? He goes, well, when do you want to look at it? I said, how fast can you get your ass here? And he goes, I'll be there in 15 minutes. 20 minutes later, I'm in looking at this place. It was the original Aldi in my town. So it had the, in and out electric in a huge space, and the back thing was huge. It was 9,000 square feet.
Total.
So
how much was like the front? How much was the back? To your knowledge, the best of your.
The front was 5,500.
That's massive, brother.
Yeah, and the back was I think 2,500.
of shit that you could just do whatever you want with locker rooms, offices,
and then they
podcast studios.
And then they had an upstairs.
Yeah.
They have a half kitchen, 2 bathrooms, and a big open space. So I was like, okay. So we started to talk. 2 days later, I had an Illinois Wesleyan. That was a small college that's starting a wrestling program. I had that coach. I had Sabina, and I had my best friend and the guy who's the electrician there. And we went through it, and they were all like, you need to get this. You need to do this. So
yeah, but that's a tall order. It's a lot of square footage. It's a lot of mat space. It's a lot of everything.
So here was the thing is I had 2 full wrestling mats at the 4,000 square foot. I had 2 sets of wall mats at some of my friends' businesses and storage. And I had a bunch of shit in my garage. So like I was ready to move in this 4,000, and then I was going to sell all the shit from my 2,000 square foot gym. Ended up happening, 2,000 square foot, can go in the back, and I can buy more weight equipment. The CGI walls that were already built can go in the front room, and there's 2 full mats. And then the office for the paint store, well, my beautiful fiance is a photographer, and she wants a photography studio. She gets the big office.
You did like a commercial real estate asset.
So what ended up happening in one day, we started 7 a.m., and I'm in a cast and crutches. All of my students moved everything from my home, the 2 storage units, and that gym, and the 4,000 square foot gym, all into that gym in one day. It all got moved in there. One day, 7 a.m. to about 10 p.m. I said, boys, put shit in your cars. I don't care. Just get it there.
You went in the span of 6 years. You went from in the basement of one of your students' houses to almost a 9,000 square foot.
From the basement to this would have been 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Yeah. June 6th, which is actually my best friend's birthday.
As a purple belt.
As a purple belt. In 6 years, June 6th, which is my best friend's birthday, best friend since 7th grade, we will hit 6 years. So we're not even at 6 years yet.
What is your end goal with the gym in terms of, so we've talked a little bit about expansion, multiple locations, things like that. You're scaling, you're growing, so you have to facilitate the logistics of a physical namespace. Totally understand.
Yeah.
But my question for you is like, is there like a certain number of students? Like, okay, let me ask this question in a very intelligent way. Sorry, forgive me, guys. What is the number of students you want? What is the number of what is the end goal for you in terms of physical location?
I don't have that. This is, I'm somebody that what's the next step? What's the next step? So right now
it can't grow, but it can't grow into inevitability, right?
Right.
So what is are you already, if you were to stop growing today, would you be happy?
No.
Okay. So then what is that number? Like what number would you be happy with? Is it a number of students? Is it a square footage? Is it the money? Like what is a metric that you could hit that you're like, I did it?
There isn't, because this is kind of like the end goal. So right now we have 5 days stand-up, 5 days jiu-jitsu. So you have the front gym and you have the back gym. And then we just started a youth wrestling program.
Good.
I never wrestled a day in my life. And so I'm getting from a lot of people, who the hell are you to start a wrestling program? Well, let me tell you about my coaches.
Fuck you. I don't have to know everything. I can outsource what I don't know.
Yep. And I have the head wrestling coach is Zach Zvanover.
Also, who the fuck is giving you shit for starting a program for youth?
All my competitors.
Yeah, suck my dick.
So beautiful how you say that, because So this is what I have. I said, and this is what I tell the people too, is I never wrestled, so I'm not the wrestling coach.
Yeah.
But Zach Zvanover, he's an NAI wrestler. Right, exactly. And then
I'm an assistant wrestling coach at a high school, and I only high school wrestled.
Nice.
I went into MMA afterwards.
Yeah.
The credentials are irrespective of your passion. If you have the skill set.
Yeah.
It's not as if it's not as if you can't grow your skill set outside of competition. I know high school wrestling coaches that like they wrestled in high school, didn't do anything really.
Yeah.
But then they like dove head first into it.
Being a good coach.
Yes, yes. And they are some of the best coaches. I know NCAA All-American coaches that are, and I want to be very careful how I say this, not the best coaches.
Yeah.
And then I know some people that like don't have necessarily the same credentials, but they have the passion.
Great coaches.
They have the passion.
Exactly.
They have the passion for the kids, the program, the sport. They want to grow the sport. So like whenever I hear that you're trying to start something and people are hitting you up going, what the fuck do you know?
I love
Who
it.
even has that energy?
I love the haters. Like, I'm at the point in my life, you know, because we were all young, people talk shit. Now I'm like, oh, you're hating on me?
No, I disagree. I don't like that those people exist. They need to learn.
Well,
they need to learn. Those people that called you and said that, they need to grow up.
All that I do, block them.
No.
And then that's my motivation
Unblock
to
them
grow.
today. Unblock them today and message them.
Oh,
Why the fuck would you spend those hours to message me that?
Hey, I'm living in their
Give
head
me their
rent-free.
I am. I'll do it.
Hey, I'm living in their head rent free, baby.
No, you're not. What you're doing is,
But
yes, you are living rent free, but like more.
But I just know that
They need to grow up.
You're right.
They need to grow up.
And here's the thing. My passion is I'm going to bring something to this community that nobody else has. I'm the only gym in town that has the cage. I'm the only gym in this town that has CGI walls.
You also have like 6,000 square feet of mat space.
Exactly.
Dude.
So here's
That's insane.
So then
In a good way.
And then I have Zach, who's an amazing wrestling coach, and he also coached at a high school, and he has a state champion that he coached.
In the state of Illinois?
In the state of Illinois.
God bless.
And then Logan DeCitas, I didn't know who the hell he was. He was a 2-time state champ. Senior year was COVID. So he just says...
I am so sorry, dude.
I know. So then this...
Sorry, that guy.
So then Big Goofy, that's why I call him Big Goofy, is he says, screw this. I'm going to graduate early because he has the brain. And he went and wrestled at Bucknell. So his competition is the Ivy Leagues. His last year, senior year, while an Ivy League educated young man, he also was 18th in the nation at 183. So I didn't know who he was.
A stud.
And
is
I
who
didn't,
he was.
and he just graduated.
An intelligent stud.
So he walks in, and this is exactly how he goes, hi, my name's Logan. Nice to meet you. I'm like, okay, Big Goofy. And he just starts tossing people. Find out he was coached by Pixley in high school.
No shit. Small world.
I did not know that. So a week.
Did you tell Michael that?
Yeah. Well, I tell him that. So a week after that, I said, hey, I'm going to Mount Vernon. He goes, hey, can I go down there so I can beat the shit out of Pixley?
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
You want a what? And he goes, yeah, man, I want to give it to that guy.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I said, okay.
Maybe in 20 years.
I drove down with this kid, known him a week, 3 hours. He starts literally going for it, and he almost took Pixley
No
down.
shit.
I'm not going to lie. I was like, what the hell? And then Pixley launched him.
Yeah, but Pixley, for those that don't know, Pixley is also a fucking animal.
And then he went against...
World-class athlete. Yeah. World-class.
After that, he went against Brandon Reed. They went 1-1 for takedowns.
That's not an easy rounds, boys.
And he just goes, I want to go against Pixley again.
Fucking savage.
So he's my other wrestling coach.
Fucking savage.
And then we have a junior high, and Daniel Valdez, he's the Parkside junior high wrestling coach. So you'll like this. He, first year coaching, he had 8 kids. Now he has over 30 in his second year.
Growing the sport.
So I was like, okay, why don't you, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw Daniel, first practice, he was puking. I was like, this soft ass ain't gonna last. He is in there every day, has a key to the gym, has a key to my home. And
bro, there's too many people that have keys to your home.
there is. I ain't gonna lie. I got about 5-6 guys that has keys.
Come in one day, there's like 6 different people on your couch. Like, yo,
that's happened. I've came home and Grim's been on my couch.
Treasure. That's a treasure.
And I love it. I'm like, okay,
I'm giving you shit, but
yeah, but it's the guys that I love on. And then Daniel, this was great. There was a big ass.
Talk about an open door policy.
You have no idea. And then during Christmas time, there's a huge snowstorm. So the state junior high girls wrestling team got canceled. So at Parkside, wrestling give you this. You guys can't practice for 3 days. And I said, and we had literally just opened the front gym. We hadn't finished the back. And Danny and this other guy, Andy, who was like an assistant coach, he told me about that. And I said, screw that, boys, all-nighters. We went in the back and set up the back room just so that way that and 2 days later, the junior high was in the front room in the big space.
And you guys were...
All of us were in the shit in the back. I said, the kids come first. I didn't charge that junior high a dime. I will never take money from them. They got to practice for 3 days. And that gave me the idea to start the wrestling program because I found out there's a wrestling program in our town. They had to turn away 25 kids last year.
Why? Because they didn't have the space?
Yeah, they ran out of room.
That's a great fucking problem to have.
We're right across the street from that school. So I found out people are taking their kids 30 to 40 minutes away. All right, come in here now. So I started the wrestling program, but I'm not the coach. I have 3 amazing coaches between Zach, who NAIA wrestler, that's the jungle, and the coach in high school, Logan, and Danny. So I have it all covered now. So I'm just providing something for this. So when you said, what's my max? Here's what I really hope for in the future is the gym's full with, I want over the lunch hour, I want the homeschool PE because there's a lot of homeschools at my town. So I have an 11 to 1, 2 days a week homeschool PE at my gym, which I was never homeschooled, but I have somebody to teach. And then we have the wrestling program, and I hope that eventually that evolves into wrestling, kids, jiu-jitsu, and MMA, adults. And my hope is that my fiance has a very successful photography business. I hope that I have a podcast upstairs. You're going to be one of my guests, boy.
God bless. I'll come down.
And this is what I hope. I'm 43. So I don't know if this is my midlife crisis, but my plan is to keep doing this till I'm, around in my 60s. And then my home, I want to turn that into a rental, and it means Sabina have her own home. And then when we're in our 60s, when she's ready to retire, sell the homes, the gym, I leave it to my students.
Like what? Like an ESOP? Like a...
I don't know. Just they run it, and then the plan is then for her and I to retire in Tennessee. And I want about 5-6 acres. Her, me, I want a house with dogs, and then I'm going to have a big-ass pole barn. And I'm going to do the same thing until the day I die. And then when me and Sabina, when our time in this earth is done, I said, listen, just cremate us with all the dogs, and then somewhere out in the mountains. That's all I need. So my goal is to just make this gym so successful that it can't be shut down, and I leave it to somebody else, and they run it. And then when I retire, I have a small version of it out in Tennessee with Sabina and the dogs. And then whenever I'm past, it's left to somebody with PSF. Like probably like some of my students, like they're going to get all my wealth when I'm done. And that's just how I'm going to end life. And I'm going to be totally happy with being a coach. My gym's left to good people. And I just want to be remembered as a good coach that was there for people. I'll be happy the rest of my life.
Legacy.
Yep. That's my LLC is Legacy Training and Jiu-Jitsu. And actually my tattoo is Legacy with my last name.
I didn't know who you were until you got on this podcast today. I mean, I knew who you were, but I didn't know who you were.
Mm-hmm.
Very
good. Social media is different than real, Jared.
Well, not just that. I mean, the nice thing about a podcast is I get 2 to 3 hours like unfettered with an individual, and I get the luxury of asking all the questions I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say a couple of things. You can tell me if I'm wrong or not.
No, you're good.
Here's my synopsis of you.
A little scared, but okay.
I think you're an individual who had a very tough upbringing. And I think that you understand the value of those that poured into you because your early years were drought. So you were presented with opportunities where individuals gave you that which you needed most, and that was hope, fuel, direction, discipline, intelligence, right, to educate you.
Mm-hmm.
And that you deeply, to your core, value what they gave you because it changed your life. And that you understand the value more than anything of those that can shape and change the trajectory of a young individual for the better. So now you're at this point in your life where you've you've done and you've worked so hard that what you want to do now more than anything else is to simply pour into others because you understand that value. You've developed the ecosystem to bring in individuals that you can then pour into, even if it's not directly you. It could be the coaches that you hire, the wrestling program, what have you. It doesn't necessarily have to be directly from you, but it's under your umbrella. So it still feels good. It's still you, even if it's not you. And more than anything, what you want to do is leave it better than you found it.
Pretty damn good. You're probably about 95% hit that. Like, you definitely have.
The 5% is like hookers blow. No, I'm just joking. Sorry.
I'll say this. Like,
I'm messing with you. I'm sorry.
The what you said with the people that, poured into me, I can tell you their names.
Yeah.
It's John Morgan, owner of Golds in Bloomington. And I'll say this too, is Dan McCauley, who is the owner of the Golds in Champaign. And this is where I do whatever the fuck I want. People can't tell me different. Is the Gold's Gym symbol, that's the square with the circle with the guy flexing. I'm getting that painted at my gym. But what am I have, instead of saying Gold's Gym, it's going to say John Morgan, Dan McCauley. And then the two other people from Gold's that were very, very important to me that I didn't speak about, but, I have no problem
Had a place.
when it comes. Mike Trotter with First Form, PT boss underneath, and my buddy Mike Sullivan, who never cared apparel and also is a Gold's Gym guy. They're getting their names up there. So even at my gym, what I learned from all those guys is going to be out there. And the other people, Tommy and Heath, there's another mural that's going to be painted. They're going to be the biggest people there. So like when they are actually painted, they will be bigger than me every time, because if it wasn't for them, that gym wouldn't be open.
What do Tommy and Heath say to you now about the gym that you've produced?
That they're proud of me.
Yeah.
Like they don't give much criticism, but the one thing that I do appreciate with Tommy is at any point, and I will look Tommy in the eye when I say this, anytime I'm acting like an asshole or I'm doing something wrong, Tommy calls me out that day. And that's what I love about Tommy is Tommy wants me to be successful. And if I start failing from that, he's the first one to call me out.
He chin checks you.
Yeah. And if I ever, hey, Tommy, I have a coaching question. Tommy, I have a life question. Tommy, I have a relationship. Tommy's going to give it to me. Tommy also will check on me just to, because he's just a good fucking person. But also, too, if I'm acting an ass, Tommy's the one to check me. And there's times Tommy's sitting like, hey, I got to ask you about this. And I tell him, he goes, okay, wanted to check you on that one.
You have overlooked one thing, and this is something that you are cognizant of, but you didn't give yourself some credit. Because you're talking up a lot of these individuals that poured into you.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the 5% that maybe I missed. You also have to be someone who can be poured into.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that are young that think they know it all. There's a lot of people that are young that think they have the answers or that they're, knowledgeable past their years.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be ego enough to have drive and character and a sense of morality and good and wrong, right and wrong. But you also have to be humble enough that when someone comes in and big brothers you listen.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly, Tommy, when he found you, saw that in you, and you capitalized on that. And Heath afterwards, and all the people from Gold's Gym. Forgive me if I'm not saying all the names out loud. But what I'm trying to say though is, and this is like a lesson for other people. Like, yes, the first part of this equation is good to be like the person who wants to give to others, that is selfless, that wants to grow something past themselves. All these are great accolades. But it has to start with the individual who's willing to be mentored.
100%.
And that's the difficulty.
Yeah.
Because how do you explain to someone who's young and thinks they know it all and hasn't eaten the shit of life yet? Hey, you don't know everything. Let me part some wisdom to you so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made to learn the same lessons. So give yourself some credit.
Yeah.
They saw something in you, just like Sabina, just like Tommy, just like Heath. They saw something in you at a time where you didn't necessarily have it, but they invested in the potential of what you were, and look at you now.
Yep. Still growing, still learning.
Of course.
Yeah.
All of us are.
Yeah.
No one has the answer, including Heath, including Tommy, everybody on this planet. But what I mean by that is give yourself some credit, brother. God bless.
I will say I'm very bad about giving myself credit because I'd rather give credit.
Well, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
Good job.
I do appreciate that.
Seriously, good job.
And to you, this is the best podcast I've ever been on. And I'm going to tell you thank you for having me. And good job for what you're doing because like I said this too when I came here. I was like, will you teach me something because this is cool? You've done an exceptional job too. You give yourself some credit too, buddy.
We're all just learning, man.
Yep.
I'm very glad I did this. And I'm very glad you came on. And
I'm glad I had the balls to reach out to you because that was a shot in the dark if you were going to tell me to fuck off or not. And
can I tell you something
Yeah.
about that? I think that everybody on this planet has a story.
mm-hmm.
Everyone. And that everyone is interesting because everyone has a lived experience that's separate from everybody else.
Correct.
And there's like lessons to be learned in that. My job, like on this podcast, is to bring that out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my job. And hopefully add to it with some of my own experiences, like truly
Yeah.
to kind of morph it into like a symbiotic relationship. But like everybody that reaches out to me, I want to be careful how I say this because I don't want like 100 people reaching out to me. Let me put it this way. Everybody that has reached out to me has impressed me enough that they've been on this podcast. I haven't said no to anybody.
Really?
Yep. Montreal James, you, a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And I've had people tell me like, why are you having so-and-so on? And I tell them all the same fucking thing. They might not be about business. They might not be about whatever the fuck. Like I have one person who's a female fighter, 40 years old, that wants to come on and talk about her story. And I know that her story is a good one. I know it. My only question is like, whenever I question myself about having somebody on the podcast is more than anything is like, can I bring that out? Am I good enough? Does that make sense? It's like an insecurity I have. It's not an insecurity on the individual, nor is it like a lack of interest. I've never sat down and talked to you until today.
I've never spoken to you and I feel like I'm leaving with a friend. For
Thank
real.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's ultimately the goal. That's ultimately the goal.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. Because like I said, I didn't know what to expect on this. And man, I've loved spending time with you. And I was like, my podcast, you're coming up. And I hope in the future I come back, man. This has been so much fun talking.
Dude, when you start yours, come back on and we'll talk. Like, I've had, what do we have, 152 episodes with you. This will be 152. I want to say unique guests we've had, I might be wrong, 110, 105.
Yeah.
That means a third of our guests have been repeat guests because I enjoy talking to the same people, or not I enjoy talking to the same people. I enjoy...
Good conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that I haven't had a good conversation. I've only had conversations and then I've had better conversations.
Okay,
so, like I said, it is not a reflection of the individual. It's always been a reflection of me. So, Jared, I can't say anything other than thank you for the drive, for the time. For those that don't know, it's 10 o'clock now in the evening. He came here at 6:30 for perspective. So there's always an end to the podcast where I give the floor to you about anything else that you want to end with, anything that you want to shout out, whatever the fuck you want. The floor is yours. This is now your podcast.
Man, put me on the spot to end it.
Well, by the way, and thank you for the kind words, truly.
Well,
thank you.
I was going to start off by telling you thank you because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. That's the truth. And all the podcasts I've been on right now, this is my favorite one. And I can't thank you enough for what you did. Shout outs, I'm going to give it to people that I need to. And that's going to be Heath and Tommy and Sabina. And then after that, all my students. Like, if it was not for you guys, I wouldn't be shit. I would just be another Joe working. And, I can't say everybody enough. And then if you guys want to ever come to Bloomington and train with us, I do not take drop-in fees. You come in, you need to stay for a week, and stay at the gym, stay at my house, stay at one of the guys' houses. If anybody ever wants to come and see what we've created, open door policy. I don't care what affiliate you are, how long you've trained, come on in. If you want to follow us, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and start a YouTube channel and future podcast.
And we'll put all of that in the description of this video. So.
Cool. Yeah, if anybody wants to come visit, cool. And if anybody wants to have a really good conversation, talk to my boy.
I appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you and what you're doing, man. Keep doing good things.
Brother.
Loved it, eh? Yeah.